Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The State Department has set up an 8-member team known as The Firm. Its mission, to help countries cut off from Chinese trade.
The team emerged after Washington stepped in to help Lithuania when the northern European country found its cargo shipments to and from China stranded 2 years ago during a feud over Taiwan. State Department officials say Washington sees The Firm as an emergency response when a country fears facing economic pressure from China. The Chinese embassy in the U.S. says Beijing opposes economic coercion and calls the American allegation completely unfounded.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House. Taiwan's opposition-controlled legislature has passed changes that are viewed as favoring communist China and diminishing the power of the island's newly inaugurated president. The changes give the body greater power to control budgets, including defense spending, in what many see as a concession to China. News and analysis at townhall.com. Seems like someone is always unhappy with the national head count. It seems more so as the country becomes more diverse.
Advocates say Armenian, Black Arab, Brazilian, and Hmong communities in the U.S. are not accurately represented in the numbers the Census Bureau produces. And that could mean they're shortchanged when it comes to budgeting, health services, and political clout. An example, the Census Bureau added a new category, Middle Eastern or North African. But missing from the list of backgrounds were Black Arabs from countries like Somalia and Sudan. And Armenians. Advocates are hoping the subcategories are expanded before the 2030 census. I'm Jackie Quinn.
T-Mobile is buying U.S. Cellular's wireless operations and certain spectrum assets, the deal valued at $4.4 billion. More on these stories at townhall.com.
My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
You don't have to live with a non-healing wound. The Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center at Artesia General Hospital provides compassionate care to people experiencing chronic or complicated wounds. Led by certified family nurse practitioner Rochelle McIntyre, our wound care team will work with you to build your customized treatment plan. Podiatrist Jennifer Chow and Joseph Krupa also specialize in lower limb wound care, and we are proud to have state-of-the-art hyperbaric oxygen chambers, a proven treatment that promotes successful healing. Visit artesiageneral.com/wound to learn more.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Tuesday.
It is not Monday.
That's right.
Feels like Monday. Smells
Boy,
like Monday.
does it ever feel like Monday.
But it is not. It is Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Actually, kind of smells like a Thursday. It's weird.
Does it?
It's weird.
What's
it
Thursday
smells
like?
of Thursday.
What does Thursday smell like?
Regret, mostly. Disappointment.
Should smell of tacos today.
My childhood.
Today's Tuesday. Should smell of tacos.
It should, but not till later.
That's true.
Yes.
Although, the breakfast taco is a great addition to the breakfast fare.
Oh, 100%.
And I say you can eat tacos all day.
Fair
breakfast,
enough.
Lunch, dinner.
But I would argue that if you're going to have a breakfast taco, why don't you just take the extra effort to fold the flaps? Turn it into a breakfast burrito.
Because sometimes...
What are you holding on to, man?
Sometimes you ain't got time for all that folding.
You ain't got time for that kind of folding. I got places to be. I can't close my flaps.
And we assume it's soft. Why can't we go crispy breakfast taco?
Yeah, see, that feels like a step too far.
I don't think it is.
If you're loading up like an old El Paso taco shell with
eggs
breakfast
and
ingredients,
bacon and cheese and salsa, why not?
I don't know. Just something about it doesn't feel right. There shouldn't be that much crunch in a breakfast.
I say why not?
I can't put my finger on why it feels wrong, but it just feels wrong. It ain't right.
Well, someone try it. I think it's a good idea.
Fair enough.
Hard taco breakfast. Just serve nothing but hard tacos for breakfast.
If it's going to come in a hard shell, I feel like it's going to have like, beans and like some kind of other accoutrement with it. Maybe iceberg lettuce. Maybe
make it like a British breakfast taco.
Yeah. Well, except for that's the wrong kind of beans.
No, put those beans in it.
No, then you're just going to end up with a mess.
Yes.
There's no end to close so you can hold in your beans.
Well, let's be honest. 30 to 40% of the time you eat tacos, it's a hot mess anyway, just depending on how they're made and how much stuff you crowbar into the taco.
See, but now we're at the precipice where we have to decide what is a taco. Because
oh no.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a fan of I've become naturalized. I'm a fan of when I think of taco, I think of street tacos. I think of like asado. I think of the soft shell variety, 4-pack with the with the lime on top. You ask the average American what they think of when they think of taco night. They think of like, the old El Paso.
Oh, yeah.
The taco in a box.
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll bring in a little bit of that mild sauce.
Yeah, I don't know. But just shell's fine for that. And I'm sorry. Making your hard taco shell like a boat so it stands up by itself, good invention.
Yeah. No.
It is a good invention.
The best invention in American tacos, in the hard shell taco, is when Old El Paso came out with the flat bottom taco shell. That was a game changer. You don't need a special device to hold your shells up. These hold themselves up. What a concept. I love how it took us 40 years to be like, why don't we just flatten the bottom?
Yeah.
It was right there. The innovation was hanging right in front of our face.
About 200 years, we'll invent something else that we just like, duh. But it is Tuesday, not Monday.
Yes.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Enjoy.
Hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
Indeed.
Busy weekend with graduations and, of course, Memorial Day and all the other fun events going on around town and everything. So it's just
did you get out and about and do anything this weekend?
Pretty low key. I kind of did stuff around the house. I didn't really go out per se. I think we just kind of ran errands and did shopping and spent money at places and things. But yeah, kind of a low key weekend. Didn't go out in the public too much there.
And my kids wouldn't let that slide. So, we well, I mean, it was opening weekend for all the water things. Yeah. So we ended up at the pool on
our pool
on
opened this weekend, but I didn't go. No, my wife went yesterday morning. They had a little breakfast out there for everybody. But I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday, so I kind of laid low. oh, that big.
It's magic.
Oh, tethered to the toilet. But had a good weekend overall.
Nice.
Kids had a good time.
They did. Had Ion in town for the weekend, so we I had the kids and a girlfriend entertained. So
nice.
So it was trying to find activities mostly for the kids, so keep them distracted. They were plenty pleased. We were going to go to Bottomless yesterday, but we ended up just going to the splash pad.
Okay.
It just seemed like a much less sandy experience.
Okay. So good deal. Well, Micah Spear, too, is going to join us here in just a few from the Roswell Chaves County EDC.
And he brings with him good news.
Yes, of course, we did get awarded the Reno Air Races. So kind of a big deal. So we'll talk with Mike here about that. I had a guest call in on some of the others, so we're going to replay some interviews. We had Animal Control and the Humane Society join us last Thursday.
They actually had a shootout. It was crazy.
Yeah. So we'll play that for you here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then around 9:15, we're going to replay our interview with Peggy Bolin, Camp Invention, which is coming up here.
1 week from today.
Like a week, yeah. But still got time to sign your kids up. Discounts for multi-kids and partial scholarships still available. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a few. Before we do any of that, though, I guess we'll take a gander at your weather.
Yes, sir.
Mostly hot with slight chances of rain here and there. Like tonight, there's like a 20%.
Yeah.
And then like Friday, there's like a 20%.
Yeah, I was looking at the weather. It said partly to mostly cloudy and 102 for the high. I'm like, shut up.
Oh, yeah. The 1-1 is what they're officially saying for today. 92 tomorrow.
Ooh.
Look for that. Good news. But
downright springy.
Here's the official weather from a guy that went to school for this.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot again today. Our afternoon high will be in the low 100s, and we should have sunshine with high pressure overhead for now, maybe a little bit breezy. Overnight, we have a low developing over the area. Might bring us a shower or thunderstorm, a few clouds, and we're in the mid-60s. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. This is staff meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 14% with winds out of the west at 6 miles per hour. Sunny and hot today with a high of 101 expected. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 this morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. 20% chance at some showers tonight. We're talking like overnight, so don't wait for it. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 65 degrees and northwest winds 15 to 20. And then, of course, Wednesday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Expect a high of 92. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 15 miles per hour. Mostly sunny Thursday, high of 97. South winds 5 to 10. Friday, they're talking a slight chance at rain showers, 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 94. And then for the weekend, 20% chance of rain for Saturday, partly cloudy and 96. Mostly sunny and 99 on Sunday, and then 101 when you head back to work and school, or no school, but work next week. All right, 7:16, we're going to get you into Roswell Livestock Report, quick break, and then Micah Spiritu with the Roswell Chaves County EDC will join us. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good Tuesday run following Memorial Day with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, pairs, bred cows. We expect to sell 1,000 head. Break it down like this: 150, 175 weight cows and bulls, 100, 125 pairs, bred cows, 700, 800 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 40 to 50 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white face, Charolais crosses with Angus and Charolais calves at side. Pairs 5 to 10 years old, 25 to 30 roping size calves for today. 50 to 75 bred cows, mostly black, white face Charolais crossbreds, cows bred to Angus Charolais. 5 to 10 years old, 60 yearlings, Corrales Dairy right here at Roswell. Solid black dairy cross steers and heifer yearlings. Good flesh, bunk broke, 650, 750 pounds. 25 heifer yearlings, RL Ranch, Seminole, Texas. Solid black and black white face Angus Holstein cross heifer yearlings. Bunk broke, 650, 900 pounds. 37 light yearlings, the Sneeman Ranch at Brownfield, Texas. Excellent quality, 85% black, white face Angus cross yearlings right off grass, 700, 850 pounds. 43 calves in light yearlings. 6-shooter ranch in McCamey, Texas. Good quality black to black white-faced Charolais crossbreds, thin to medium condition. 375, 600 pounds. Several smaller sets of high-quality calves and light yearlings with condition. Sale time this morning will be at 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows about 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:45 to 11. We expect to sell 1,000 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
When it comes to fighting the governor and her progressive lackeys in the state house, we need a proven conservative. This is Jared Hembry, and I have taken on the left-wing agenda as your conservative representative. New Mexico has serious issues, many of which are being ignored by the governor and the liberal left, and we need a representative who will fight to protect our way of life. I know what it takes to fight and win in Santa Fe. I am humbly asking for your trust and your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for what we believe.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for state representative.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details, 2nd and Sycamore, and 1309 Southeast Main.
This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington. Candy Ezell is running for the state senate, and I want to tell you why she's the best person for this job. Candy has been fighting for us. As a state representative, she's been an advocate for law enforcement and for the rule of law. She's been voting against Michelle Lujan's attacks on the Second Amendment for years. And whenever Candy stands up and says no, people pay attention. That's why we need her in the state senate. She's also been fighting for all the policies that have led us to the border crisis, including opposing catch and release of violent criminals, drivers, and professional licenses for illegals. A vote for Candy Ezell is a vote to restore law and order and to secure the border here in New Mexico. This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington asking you to vote for Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
I'm Candy Spence Ezell asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop invites you to move on in and check out the fantastic selection of threads, fabrics, and patterns. Take advantage of a huge sale on Brother sewing machines. If you just want to tune up on your own machine, bring it on over for in-house maintenance. And with free lessons at the Calico Cow, you can learn from some of the absolute best. Let's keep the tradition and art of sewing going. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell, right behind Farley's. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Roswell City Councilman Will Cavan. My son, Sergeant Chance Cavan with the Roswell Police Department, was shot on May 15th in the line of duty in Roswell. I know the effect of crime in our state personally. My friend Greg Nybert does too. You see, Greg Nybert has fought tirelessly to reverse the liberal policies that have created the crime wave across our state and made New Mexico #1 in violent crime in the U.S. The one that has finally made its way eastern New Mexico, thanks to our open border and the flood of drugs and human trafficking. Greg even secured funding to purchase new vehicles this year for not only the Roswell Police Department, but also Portales, Clovis, and the Chaves and Roosevelt County Sheriff's Departments. I'm asking you to vote for Greg Nybert because Greg is the man I trust to fight to protect my son's life in the line of duty. You can trust him too to protect your family. Please vote for Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, a man who finally has a free moment, I think, just for a second. Mike Espiritu with the Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corp. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good, Mike. Good morning.
Good to have you back. And you've been a busy man this last, really a couple of years, but really in the last, of course, 6-8 months, it's been in the public lexicon here with the Reno air races. And of course, last week it was made official that Roswell has been awarded the Reno air races. And for now, for the foreseeable future, we are the home for, which I'm going to guess maybe they're going to change the name to Reno air races. I don't know.
But. Well, I don't know about that. It's I thought so too, that it'd be Roswell Air Racing Association or something. Yeah. But I think what I learned from their PR folks is The event is actually NCAR, National Championship Air Race. The only air race in the country that's credited by the FAA. So it's kind of a big deal, right? So it's 7 classes of racing, and but the organization is the Reno Air Racing Association. So DBA, NCAR. So I don't know. They may keep it because they're going to.
Are they going to have any presence in Reno after this? Some kind of offices or something?
They might have an office for just a little while. But I don't think that it's going to be I don't know. It's hard to say at this point. It's kind of early.
Gotcha.
But they will have under NCAR, they'll have the logo, and then they'll have Roswell, New Mexico.
Gotcha.
Which is cool.
Absolutely.
Because then people around the world will know that. Because, this is an international event.
And that's what I don't know. Some people realize, some don't. And this is at the level of like International Balloon Fiesta level. This could get, as far as terms of putting Roswell, New Mexico on the map, even more so than it already is. I mean, let's face it, it's probably the most internationally known town of 50,000 people in the world. I mean,
well, yeah, and absolutely. Wherever I travel, everyone know. I mean, I think I've met 3 people in the last 5 years that I don't know where Roswell is.
It's not very often,
right? So, but you're exactly right. It won't be as big as the Balloon Fiesta today,
right?
But it certainly has potential. But it's a second largest event.
That's what I'm saying.
In New Mexico,
the potential here for it to most communities don't have any kind of festival that garners this kind of attention. Roswell kind of has 2. I mean, we have the International UFO Festival. We're still known for that, and now the Reno Air Races, which, like you said, it really does have as far as bringing in the money, but bringing in the notoriety and everything. Just as much as International Balloon Fiesta, the logistics involved with it certainly are on par with it as far as the amounts of people that could be coming into this. Maybe not next year, but as this thing grows, and because that's something too is Reno Air Races are also growing. They're trying to get that sport more and more mainstream and more on people's radar and things. So they too are looking to probably capitalize a little bit on the Roswell name and try to make their own brand a little bit bigger. And if they can use Roswell to do that for them, amazing, great, win-win for everybody.
Well, the economic impact by the University of Nevada, Reno, was over $100 million every year, and some years more than that. And the number of people that come to town can be anywhere from 50 to 80,000.
Sure.
And people go, the local folks here say that's a lot of people.
Sure.
Absolutely, because it's going to double our population,
Absolutely.
right? So we have to work towards how can we best support that, because you're right. I think it's going to continue to grow and gain more notoriety. I mean, there's so many international flyers in the races already. I think that it really puts us on the international map.
Absolutely.
And not just the racing piece, because they're going to race next year. So in the mid-year point, May, June, they'll do what they call PRS, which is a pilot recertification school for pilots, especially on a new course, which this will be a new course.
Brand new for everybody, yeah.
So we'll have a number of people here for about 10 days during that period, just to go through the training and the education component.
Sure.
And what's great is we've partnered with Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, here with Dr. Powell and his folks, and they're providing classrooms and that kind of stuff. And
Good
of course,
deal.
and they're going to be flying, obviously.
Well,
and,
ENMUR has a unique, because of their location being at an old military base, they get to offer programs and things that are unique to that college that others don't. And so it kind of makes sense that they're involved with this, because they're already kind of, as far as education for aviation, they're kind of becoming a resource for New Mexico for that.
Well, they have one of 2 aircraft maintenance technician programs in the state. Certified FAA programs for aircraft mechanics, and they're looking to boost their
It's a good partnership.
Oh, absolutely. So we see some good things happening, and then of course. September of 25 will be the first air race / air show.
That's our first. That's curtains up for the first one.
That's it. Yeah, they're going to have their last air show in October of this year in Reno, and then after that they're done. But they're not doing a race this year.
Gotcha. It's strictly just show and probably some demonstrations and things.
Yeah, and some exhibits.
But kind of like when you go to Holloman here in May for their air show.
Right. Same thing. So.
Yeah.
But they had the Blue Angels coming in Reno this year, so they're pretty excited about that. And the Canadian Snowbirds, and I think they've got a Air Force a demo team or something.
So it's going to be a bigger
show.
Coming to our town.
Well, we're gonna see that.
Yeah,
because they're part of the International Council of Air Shows, and that's the group that actually puts together these air shows and performers for all these different cities across the country.
And they usually rotate. If my knowledge is so, like one year if they have the Blue Angels, then the next year they'll have the Thunderbirds. So it's usually when they do air shows like that, the Thunderbirds and Blue Angels. Just for my time in the military, they kind of flip flop. So if a military base or air show has the Blue Angels one year, usually the next year they get the Thunderbirds. So, which is Air Force version versus the Navy version.
Sure, absolutely. So we're pretty excited about that. There's a lot of work to be done, but you're right. Yeah. We've been on this journey for actually a little over a year. February of last year is when we started.
Yeah.
But the EDC in the very beginning has been very supportive. My board of directors, Kurt Gassett, that was the chairman at the time, and all the officers and all the directors were so supportive. We funded this attraction piece, which is it was a little over $100,000 out of our membership, because we're a membership organization as well as receiving some city and county funds, and because of that, our members really contributed to a great economic impact for the community. It's not just the event.
Absolutely,
there's other things that will happen.
Well, it's the support for it. There is the aftercare of it and the garnish and let's face it, it's just bringing new business to the area. I would imagine we're going to see other businesses that are associated with the industry setting up shop here in Roswell because that's where their customers are.
Exactly. When you bring that many people to our town and they start seeing that air center, they're going to say, we need to be here.
Sure.
We need to have a presence here. So we see that as a great leading off point.
Absolutely. And we've said for years, even before we were talking about Reno Air Races, we had this gem that is this air center. And they built this base here many moons ago, and a place of this caliber does not have that kind of infrastructure available to it. Now, granted, yes, we got to do some work to it and all that, and get it modernized a little bit in some of this stuff. But the fact that we have it is just that most places don't have that kind of thing. So for us to be able to bring in the Reno Air Races is going to, by default, make what we all want to happen here. You know what I mean? It kind of, I was telling you on the phone, I said it on the radio last week. I said, this is kind of our Kennedy speech, we'll put a man on the moon before the end of the decade kind of thing here. This is our moment to do that. We've been awarded the Reno Air Races. Now we're gonna make sure that we're ready come next September to get ready for this. And so I guess the next question is, what's next for Roswell here? What now that we've been awarded, what do we got to do to get ready?
Well, there's a lot of work, right? We have grandstands, and we have parking and an RV parking area. We have to lay out the air center. They're doing a lot of that work too. Rah-Rah, they've been doing this for 60 years.
Sure. So they kind of know how to set up
they pretty well know what they're doing.
Sure.
The reason they're leaving Reno is because they're being pushed out by commercialization. People, there's folks here want to build hangars for the big box shipping stores and stuff like that. So that's what's happening. And quite frankly, we competed with 38 other cities.
We only heard about 6, but there was a lot more than 6.
A lot more than 6.
That, yeah.
But we're very fortunate to be selected. But anywhere they went, they would have had challenges.
Absolutely.
And we certainly have a few too. We don't have lodging for 80,000 people right now, but what we did was we took a regional approach. With Ruidoso and Artesia and Hobbs and Carlsbad and Portales and Clovis. From a regional perspective, we have the rooms.
Absolutely.
We have the RV parking. We're going to build more.
And to be honest, we need more, and this is an excuse to do that. You know what I mean? Where people were maybe on the fence on bringing that type of thing, now they've got the thing that pushed the needle over the edge.
That's right. And Mike, this year-long event or over a year-long event didn't happen just by itself.
No, it was years of talks.
Hours and hours and hours. More meetings than I can think to remember. But the key is we had a great team of people from the very beginning that worked together across city and county, worked towards getting us to today. And if it hadn't been for those people, we couldn't have done what we did.
Absolutely.
We had to submit an RFP proposal and I understand it was really one of their best proposals they received. But we did hire someone to do that. So, we really took it serious from the beginning.
Sure.
And they said, Mike,
and you have to.
And they said at the beginning, if they could award it based upon a community they felt, secure and wanted, because they haven't felt that way in Reno for quite a while, they would have picked us a long time ago.
Awesome.
But they said, we were in first the whole time, and here we are. We're in first now.
Well, I'm glad they
work.
wanted us as much as we wanted them. That's what it sounds like.
I think it'll be a good partnership. They call themselves the September Family, and I'm not sure if you heard that, but
that's first, actually.
In each September is when everyone comes together, and it's even though it's that many people and that many pilots,
sure,
they are truly a family.
Yeah,
and now we're part of the September Family as well.
So and it makes sense cool. too, because because let's face it, I'm going to take a guess that majority, not all, but the majority of the family, the community, have military background and were flyers or mechanics in the military themselves. And that by default garners a sense of camaraderie and so I think it just carried over into that.
Well, you're in the service. And,
exactly.
when you're a veteran, and believe me, they really believe in supporting our veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, two things that they really believe in strongly. Obviously, besides the racing and all that stuff, is respecting the veterans. In fact, they have a Veterans Appreciation Day one day during the race.
Excellent.
And the other is for the youth. They have scholarship programs for young people in aviation, and it's great to have those other amenities besides just we're going to put on an air show and we're going to make a little money. But you know what? They make a little money, but they spend a lot of money too. It takes a lot to put this event on.
Well, and that's just it. That's the thing too. Is this is great for everybody because they're going to come here, like you said. They're going to, especially this first time where it's new for everybody, and they're going to be getting the lay of the land and exploring everything, and obviously shopping in our shops, staying in our hotels, eating in our restaurants, staying at our RV parks, bringing money into it. But it's another chance for Roswell to showcase Roswell again. So when we get an influx of people that weekend in September here, we're going to do like we do UFO Festival and any other time where we welcome them and show them the cool things and say, hey, while you're here, don't forget to go to Bitter Lake and Bottomless Lake and go to all these other great amenities we have here. Don't forget to shop our Main Street corridor and visit some of these mom and pop. Have you tried your green chili? Yeah, you can't leave Roswell without having something green.
That's
what I
right.
mean? That's we get to turn that on, and it's going to bring more business. It's going to bring we're going to, in essence, for businesses, we look at UFO Festival as kind of a Black Friday-esque type weekend. As far as now we got another one in September. It really is an opportunity for mom and pops to grow and for major businesses to grow.
Well, the races it'll be around the end of September timeframe. They haven't picked a date yet, but it'll be the end of September, and it's bookend by the races ending Labor Day weekend in Ruidoso.
Mm-hmm.
It's also bookend by the Balloon Fiesta in early October.
Right.
Folks can come here and have so many different experiences, and we of course we've been telling them all those different amenities because they don't have to just come here for the races. They can come here and visit.
Do the circuit.
Visit New Mexico,
Yeah.
and every time they come, they'll see something different. They go
Sure.
to White Sands. I mean, they go to Carlsbad Caverns, and I mean, there's so many good things.
Sure.
And our regional partners, are all excited as much as we are.
And I imagine there's a few history buffs when they learn about all the Billy the Kid and all the other side of history that people don't. Aliens. Wait a minute, you got this other history too. They're gonna have that light bulb moment, like everybody else. Like, oh wow, there's so much more going on than aliens in Roswell. And
I really see, Mike, as you mentioned earlier, I see a big influx of not only supporting our local business people today, but all the other businesses that will rise up and our entrepreneurship. They're going to need everything. If you think about food service, security, sanitation, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And if anyone has interest, call my office.
Absolutely.
We're putting together pretty much a spreadsheet of people and the services and products they can provide, and then we'll push that to the RAW folks, because part of the next step, as you asked earlier, is what are we doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're getting ready for the PRS, Pilot Certification School. So that means we've got to get the course ready. They have a course designer. He's an engineer. That's what he does. He's already laid out. He laid out.
They probably have a rough idea what it looks like already.
Well, he came out here. I couldn't tell you. There's been so many visits, and actually penciled out a course design on the back of a napkin with one of the pilots. So there are. We have to get ready for that.
That's military.
Yeah,
those are former military. That sounds vintage former military guy.
But there's retired 4-star generals, the Air Force that are been part of this for years, and
that makes sense.
A lot of folks,
especially these fighter pilot types. They got an itch to scratch, and let's face it. I'm guessing the Reno Air Races scratches that itch.
Well, what's cool though is our location. We're central to a lot of military. Not only Holloman but Clovis and
I would imagine too. They're going to want to get more involved. Cannon, certainly Clovis and Holloman. I would imagine probably want to get more involved, and because let's face it. They see this as a recruitment tool, because the military, especially Air Force and Space Force, they need to up the numbers here. So I imagine they're going to be using this as a recruiting tool for them too. It's as much, for their PR as it is this is a win for New Mexico. As much as for Roswell, it's a win for New Mexico. And why do you think the governor was down and involved and, lieutenant governor and everything else? They understand the economic benefit this brings to not just Roswell, but the entire state of New Mexico.
The Mayor Jennings and I, we've done a lot of work towards funding. And through his efforts, we met with the governor back in early this year, and she pledged $2 million. And we haven't been awarded, the event yet.
Good.
But she did say, I would like our local legislators to, show their support. And they pulled together under Greg Nybert's leadership and Candy Azell and Jared Hembry, those three. Actually, let me first talk about Greg Nybert, what Senator Nybert did. He got every legislator in this region, and they put together $1 million. And that $1 million was to support the air races, and it was out of their capital outlay. Capital outlay, I don't know if you know how that works, but
you got to have a list, and you got to make the list, and to change the list, it's very...
it's very complicated.
Yes. It's not easy to just put something on there. Right.
Well, their list was finalized.
Yeah.
And if it hadn't been for the Council of Governments with Dora and Debbie Lee and Paul and those guys, we couldn't got there.
That's awesome.
So they pledged $1 million with the governors too. That's $3 million. That helped us move to the finish line. Plus, the governors pledged additional support should they come. Well, here we are. So we'll plan another visit up to see her and the mayor and I and probably the chairman of the board, Fred Telling. By the way, the EDC is having their annual gala for the first time, 18th of July.
Okay.
At the convention center.
Excellent.
We anticipate a lot of folks there. We're doing awards to local business people, about 20 employees and above.
Oh, cool.
Less than 20 employees.
So honoring some locals and some businesses and some employees.
Right. Awesome. And we're having the best of Chaves County in different things, like the best place for enchiladas.
There you go.
So voting's been continuing, going on. Go to chaviscounty.net. That's our website. You can vote online. And we have several categories, and we have quite a few people that have already voted. I mean, quite a few. Nearly 1,000.
Well, so when it comes to favorite foods and things, people have opinions. So share them.
Well, the reason I share this event with you is because our keynote speaker is going to be the chairman of the board of Reno Air Racing, Fred Telling. He's going to be our keynote.
To get a chance to peel back and learn a little bit more about Reno Air Racing.
That's
I'm
right.
sure he's got a lot to share with us about.
Yep, I think it'll be a great presentation.
Because really, that's kind of where we're at now. It's their family and our family kind of, having a family reunion, get together.
We're a blended family.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this is
pretty exciting.
But yeah, at the end of the day, this is a partnership that I really feel like this is going to be something like 20 years from now. Reno and the air races, it's synonymous. It's going to be, it's going to be one of those things, and who knows? You're going to turn on ESPN every September. We're in Roswell, New Mexico for the annual Reno Air. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's what we're going to be dealing with. It'll be like the Masters you turn in, for Augusta. All of a sudden, same thing for the Reno Air Races. You turn on the TV to see Roswell, New Mexico in the spotlight for that.
Well, you get to see that because, you have like ESPN and others that cover, live the events. I mean, it's a big deal, so.
And to be honest, I'm excited just to see it. Like I've seen the videos and I've seen it, but I don't think it does it justice to to actually be there at the thing.
And when you see it and you feel the rumble and hear it's just
when you got like the 5 or 6 planes coming by you,
tip to tip,
feet apart, I imagine.
Well, you remember they're only 500 feet above the ground.
Yeah, they're
right?
treetop level. If we had trees, well,
the jet class they travel over 500 miles an hour.
Yeah, and those get loud.
And you think about that. I mean, that's a lot of aircraft moving at a really fast speed with a lot of noise. It's thrilling.
Yeah.
And then you throw the air shows. The air shows are actually kind of like, in my mind, a filler between the races. So you've got demonstration teams performing between the races,
and the static aircraft, because and to me that's the part I like, is you get to get up close and look at these aircraft, and they're not gonna let you get in there and turn wrenches and stuff, but to see it feet from you and to see, and then of course usually with air shows they'll bring in probably military aircraft, and you just get to see things that you never get to see up close.
Yeah, and you're right about the military aircraft, because they do bring in big aircraft and people can walk through them and stuff. They did last September when I was there. And then a lot of legacy aircraft. It's so cool to see these old warbirds that are still flying. It's a blast.
It reminds me of a kid, because one of my favorite things as a kid was going to, and I grew up in Maryland, D.C. area, was going to the Andrews Air Force Base Air Show every May. We go. Sometimes we went as a school field trip. We got to do it, and that's probably part of why I went in the military, because it was so cool to me. So I'm so excited to see that kind of thing right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah, well, it's pretty exciting, but. Well, we'll probably put out a call for certain services and stuff that we don't know. I mean, we're going to go to everyone local, obviously, first, and then we'll go to our region second, and then we'll go after that. So because that's the economic development. Support our community.
And if you're a local business here or start a business, please reach out to Mike and his staff here at the EDC. Become a member, because that's supporting and supporting not only your business but all of our businesses here, and also at the same time here. Use this as a springboard to bring in these more businesses. Maybe you have an idea. Maybe you're like, I've been having an idea for a business now, and now the Reno, oh my gosh, it's the planets are aligning. I need to do this now. Talk with Mike. Let's see if we can
give me a call.
Let's see what we can do to see if what the EDC can help make this to fruition for you. And then of course come out to the banquet here in July. If you go to the website, get your tickets, get your reservations and all that done now. Give out the website one more time.
It's chaviscounty.net.
chaviscounty.net. So it's pretty easy to remember.
If they want to email me, it's mike@chaviscounty.net.
Yeah. And of course, if you look for Mike on Facebook or whatever, you can look him up, and he'll be happy to get you information or meet with you if you do any of that.
Yeah, get on the EDC Facebook page, and because we'll post a lot of stuff in there as we progress on. So because we want people to know what roles they can play if they choose to.
Absolutely.
And they're going to look for volunteers too. In Reno, they had like 1,200 volunteers. They've talked to the volunteer group. They think still a number will come down, but they're going to want local people.
Absolutely.
Because people know Roswell better than. Who knows better than Roswell than Roswell people, right?
And I know we've talked in the past, like they like to support nonprofits and things.
Absolutely.
So your American Legions and Kiwanis clubs and all that stuff, there's probably going to be opportunities to get involved with your organizations through various ways, shapes, and forms where you can make money for your organization at the same time supporting the Reno air races in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, what I saw in Reno, Mike, was they had parking lots that were run by the Boy Scouts, for example, and they shared profits, and they made
they're really good at partnering with the community.
They really are. And the civic clubs, I will share with you what they told us is that most of these organizations used to have fundraisers every now and then, car washes, bake sales. How much money can you really generate? Well, they said that they can usually do 1 or 2 events now because of that, because of the Reno air races.
It covers them for the year.
The income is so good. Which is great, and they give back to the community in so many different ways. So they're not just here to run races, but they're here to be part of the fabric of our town. I think that's really important. But
absolutely.
I do want to stress again, Mike, how important it was for the people that worked on this together to make it happen, because it wasn't Mike, it was a lot of us, and I'll tell you, having a lot of city councilors were involved. Mike Matthews, Karen Sanders for the city, Chad Cole, the mayor. I mean, so many people, and I would probably forget someone if I don't try to go with their names. But the bottom line is this:
absolutely
couldn't have done without a team event, because that's what it is. It was a team event, and it really helped us look at ourselves too. Because if we could do this, what else can we do?
Absolutely.
And I think, and the county was involved. The county manager Bill Williams, Dick Taylor, Dara Dana. I mean, they're all so supportive.
Absolutely.
In fact, Chaves County even gave us additional funding to help offset some of the expenses we are facing. So we are, last fiscal year, which we appreciate. So
sure.
Again, I think you're finding that our Chaves County folks and our Roswell City folks, with EDC, the three of us entities, we're like together on this, and we can achieve so much more.
Absolutely.
Because we're doing it together.
Absolutely.
And we don't care who gets credit. Who gets credit? The people in Roswell and Chaves County.
Absolutely.
And our surrounding region.
Well, and I know you're talking about a lot of people, and you're absolutely correct. There are so many people that moved mountains to make this happen, and yourself included. I know you're saying it's just Mike, but I know a lot of things would not happen had you and the EDC not personally spearheaded or moved in or did. Anytime there was a roadblock or a muddying of the path here, yourself and the EDC was there to help navigate through that. So it was an all hands on deck, and we're so thankful to our legislators and our city and county and all our other folks, private entities that were involved in making this happen. But the EDC definitely, you guys deserve a huge, huge thank you for making the gears turn for this one.
I started to tell you about Greg Nyberg and what he did, but Candy Azell and Jared Hembry put together a bill this last session for $10 million. The mayor and I went and testified with them, and they passed a couple committees, but couldn't make it through the last one because it was a third-day session. It was tough. So and it was Jared Hembry's first bill, by the way. But it was
right when he got thrown in the wolves. Here, welcome to the legislature. Here you go. Here's your first bill.
But our plan is to go. Okay, now we have the $3 million, two from the governor, one from the other legislators from capital outlay. Then so we're going to go back up to them and say, okay, Governor, where's the other $7?
That's right. Time to put this money into infrastructure.
Well, we're hopeful. We're going to ask, and that's important because it. Can you imagine moving a house this big from Reno after 60 years and what that's going to take logistically?
It is a kind of Herculean effort here that's going on. And
it is.
But the good news is, since we do have the support of the governor and everybody, we're going to, things that we found a little harder to get done, this one will probably have a few less hurdles and roadblocks. We'll find that the people, since we're getting support from the people in power, certain roadblocks and things will magically just not be as big an issue.
Having the lieutenant governor down here was great, and the governor would have been here for the announcement last week, but she was out of the state,
and she's been involved in other aspects of this too.
Yeah, she has, and in fact, when we met with her in January, she was very supportive. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to pledge money to something that hasn't happened, or what I mean, and I get that.
It's a concept.
Yeah. So, but for them to do that was a big,
absolutely
big important thing for all of us. So
we'll reach out to Mike and EDC here, especially if you're wanting to get more involved in this as a business or an organization, or if you've got ideas, or that's the other thing too. This is fluid. Yes, the Reno Air Races, they have the way they do things and all that, but we're also creating a new tradition here. We're creating a new. So what can we bring to the party? Maybe there's some Roswell influence that we bring to the Reno Air Races that makes it part of the tradition too. Well, time for you guys to step up and be a part of that. Who knows what that is? But,
exactly.
That's what makes these events great. Is we're going to put our stank on it a little bit too. And I think whatever that comes to be. I know we always hear the joke about a UFO category, but whatever. Roswell will put its flavor on this thing, and I think that's where we come in, we the people. So,
yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be great times.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a busy year, but
it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to see it. And to be honest, next September we'll get here before we know it. And
absolutely.
It'll happen.
Absolutely.
Mike, is there anything we wanted to mention that we just got?
Hey, so we have Built-Wise and Turnkey Ventures, the modular housing company that purchased the former bus plant that's been vacant for almost 20 years.
Yeah,
and over 300 jobs. I mean, that's a big deal.
There is other business going on in town besides A races.
There is, and those guys are going to make those modular housing units pretty much a Western expansion. Their main plant's in South Carolina, so they're going to be building homes for West Texas and as far as Colorado, Denver, and I mean all over the region. So
jobs and housing, two things we can use more of, and they're checking both boxes.
Yeah. Well, the mayor and I and others are working towards 4-lane and 380 because we know they're going to start sending stuff that way, I would suspect. And you know how safe that road is. It isn't. So we really need to get the funding secured through that.
Things like this make that happen.
Yep. Well, these type of events where it's going to bring lots of people in and out, you need the infrastructure to do that.
Yep.
And we realize that, obviously, and others, hopefully the lawmakers will do that. Maybe there's some federal funding. We did meet the governor, the mayor and I did go to D.C. too, and met with Senator Lujan.
Okay.
Ben Ray Lujan. And we had a great meeting with the senator, and he pledged support. And so we got support at every aspect. There's a couple naysayers out there, but I don't think they understand the impact, the good impact it's going to have for Roswell.
Well, and people, there's always going to be that. And and to be honest, the naysayers make the resolve that much more stronger. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, watch me.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. And I'm telling you, Roswell's about to, in southeast New Mexico, is about to impress everybody.
Well, I think and you're right. I think we're on that. We are on that cusp. We are really turning into a better place for a lot of different things. Yeah, you still have some other things we need to tackle. City's got some budget stuff they need to work through and other things. But you know what? If you look at by far what's going on, there's a lot of great things happening. We're starting to see some construction. We're going to see more construction because of this and because of Built-Wise.
Absolutely.
So
maybe we finally get over that 50,000 hump on the census.
I don't think we're ever going to worry about 50. I don't think we'll ever worry about 50 again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyway, again, thanks for having me this morning.
That way you can get your Olive Garden. Everyone will be happy.
That's right. Everybody put in your request now. Well, and by the way, we're working with other companies, right, on other projects. So there's other things going on.
Oh, yeah. I've heard all about new restaurants and new businesses coming in on the daily.
And there's new aviation stuff that we're working on, too. So, I mean, it's all... what it is people started seeing this as a real strong possibility. Now they're anxious to be here, to be part of it on the, like that early bird gets a worm. That's what's happening,
the table's set now where maybe Roswell's going to be a boom town here soon. Who knows?
Could be. And, and for a diversified economy, too.
Absolutely.
Not just one industry. It's several industries.
Yeah, exactly.
On so many different fronts.
Well, that's what we're talking about, the modular homes here, the Reno. I mean, just these various industries that are going to, and that's how a town becomes recession-proof and depression-proof.
That's right. That's right.
Is when you have diversity in your income and what you're doing for. When you're one-trick pony, it's oil and gas. We all know that. When it's great, it's great. But we're a one-trick pony in a lot of this part of the country. And when it's bad, it's bad. And so Roswell has been shielded from some of that because of our agriculture. Well, we got a foot in each one of these, so we don't get as impacted as bad as, say, Hobbs does or Carlsbad does. That being said, we're doing more things to even cement that when oil's bad or when these things happen, Roswell is less impacted by that type of.
And really what's going on, Mike, too, is it's a perfect storm. Mm-hmm. We got the city and the county working together, which doesn't happen in a lot of places across the country.
Pigs are flying all of a sudden, right?
People want to do things for all the right reasons and care about it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, holy smokes, it makes it a real pleasure to be here in Roswell doing stuff and being part of it because you could just see this vision of what Roswell is going to become.
Absolutely.
And now we have people, our city leaders, our county leaders, working towards that means, and that's really, really important. And don't forget our state legislators. I mean,
absolutely,
they're a very big part of it. And not only through funding, but also their support.
Absolutely.
Because there might be some laws or legislation that we need to maybe make some.
We're going to have growing problems because that's what happens when you grow, and it's a good thing. And we may have to need some legislation or some things down the road to meet those needs. But that's always part of when you're getting bigger and growing that things tend to, that's a good problem to have. You hear that all the time. I don't have enough tables because everyone's in my restaurant now. That's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have those kind of moments here, but we'll get through them.
That's right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, as always, Mike, appreciate the visit.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Maybe get a little bit of rest before tackling the next phase here of everything.
Yeah, well, I got something already on the.
He's already got a thing on the burner.
So it's all good. But thank you for having us.
Anytime, and we'll get you next time. And we can't wait to see the progress of all this exciting stuff.
Sure thing.
Good deal.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, 7:57. Quick break. Don't go away.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Ezell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Ezell?
That's right, Candy Ezell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Ezell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
At River Flooring, Roswell's premier quality flooring destination, commitment to excellence is key. Serving all of southeastern New Mexico, River Flooring offers a vast selection of flooring options at the lowest prices in town, ensuring you the best value with their price match guarantee. At River Flooring, you get free in-home estimates, convenient next-day appointments, financing options, and excellent service you don't find at big box stores. From hardwood and tile to luxury vinyl and carpet, River Flooring wants to earn your business, residential or commercial. To learn more about River Flooring and the many services offered, visit their website at riverflooring.com or stop by 205 North Virginia in Roswell and meet the River Flooring family and staff today. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
My name is Gabriel, and I want to tell you an incredible story.
Dear Gabriel, congratulations on receiving the Order of Eagle Scout.
President Donald Trump sent me that letter. It all happened because of Greg Nybert. You see, I had a tough childhood. My adopted mom found me abandoned and starving when I was 10 years old. But right from the start, Greg Nybert helped mentor me. When I became an Eagle Scout, Representative Nybert got the White House to send me a letter from President Trump. He always wanted me to believe in myself as much as he believed in me. When I graduated from high school, Greg Nybert awarded me with a scholarship to go to college. There are so many people like me that Greg has helped, but he'll never tell you about it. I'm proud to cast my very first vote for Greg Nybert and in the fall for Donald J. Trump. I hope you'll vote for them too.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
My name is Gabriel.
Iran's opposition-controlled legislature has passed changes that are viewed as favoring communist China and diminishing the power of the island's newly inaugurated president.
Thousands of people gather to protest the changes. The legislative chamber is festooned with banners promoting both sides in the dispute, while arguments on the floor break out into shouting and pushing matches. The changes by the opposition Nationalist Party and its allies give the body greater power to control budgets, including defence spending, that the party has blocked in what many see as a concession to China. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The death toll has risen to 23 following powerful storms over the weekend sweeping parts of 4 states.
The deadly storms and tornadoes wreaked havoc in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas and Kentucky, with forecasters saying the greatest weather risk has now shifted eastwards, covering a broad sweep of the country from Alabama to New York. More thunderstorms, strong winds and flash flooding are expected on Tuesday. The White House said President Biden had spoken with the governors of each state affected and had offered federal assistance.
The BBC's Tom Bailey. On Wall Street, the Dow down 139, the Nasdaq up 35 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
An international law enforcement agency is due for a new leader.
Stephen Kavanagh spent the last 4 years as the number 2 at Interpol. Now, as he makes his bid for the top job at the Lyon-based agency, he's warning that global crime-fighting capabilities remain based overwhelmingly on borders and traditional policing. Yet terrorists and criminals, he believes, are successfully using encryption, generative AI, and cryptocurrencies to outflank law enforcement. In his speech today, Mr. Kavanagh is expected to call for more sharing of data between national police forces. The status quo, as he puts it, will no longer do.
BBC's Frank Gardner. European Union defense ministers meeting in Brussels today, trying to overcome Hungary's objections to providing billions of euros in military aid to Ukraine. Meeting comes as Ukrainian President Zelensky is to inspect the F-16 jets that Belgium will be sending his country. News and analysis, townhall.com. The town's abuzz because the bee has landed.
28 of the last 34 Scripps National Spelling Bee champions have been Indian American. Officials say the experience of first-generation Indian Americans and their spelling bee champion children illustrates the economic success and cultural impact of the nation's second-largest immigrant group. This year's bee gets underway Tuesday just outside of Washington, and as usual, many of the kids are Indian American. Jason Walker reporting.
Another problem involving a jetliner, but this time it's an Airbus plane. The FAA says an engine fire caused the pilot of the Airbus A320 to abort takeoff yesterday at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Flames were seen shooting from the engine while the plane was on the taxiway. Takeoff scrubbed. No one was hurt. More on these stories at townhall.com.
My name is Gabriel Nell, and I want to tell you an incredible story.
Dear Gabriel, congratulations on receiving the Order of Eagle Scout.
President Donald Trump sent me that letter. It all happened because of Greg Nybert. You see, I had a tough childhood. My adopted mom found me abandoned and starving when I was 10 years old. But right from the start, Greg Nybert helped mentor me. When I became an Eagle Scout, Representative Nybert got the White House to send me a letter from President Trump. He always wanted me to believe in myself as much as he believed in me. When I graduated from high school, Greg Nybert awarded me with a scholarship to go to college. There are so many people like me that Greg has helped, but he'll never tell you about it. I'm proud to cast my very first vote for Greg Nybert and in the fall for Donald J. Trump. I hope you'll vote for them too.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope it is officially Tuesday. You know, it feels like Monday, acts like Monday. You were off yesterday like it was Sunday, but today is.
Yep.
So, happy Tuesday. Good news is you're halfway through your week tomorrow.
Yeah. We're already almost there.
And it's technically, today's month. I mean, so there's once you get up and get going, there's the reward is, one less day into the week already. You're already, that way close to the week.
Look at you.
So,
how was the morning for Kim? Did she?
I would know she was looking at the back where I live.
Exactly.
Left,
that's what I would imagine. Now that school's out, the pressure's off, and I think that that last week especially was just like gung ho.
Yeah.
And I think now she's kind of relaxed. But then the new countdown starts, as you guys are a couple of Mondays away now, right? From
from
setting
vacation.
sail.
Yeah. End of next week. Next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Not this
All
coming
this
weekend, but the next week.
Next week here. And then back Cassione.
Off on setting sail, the 7 seas.
Yeah. So
actually, I think there's 8 now. I think there's another sea.
Added a sea?
Yeah, there's a new sea.
Chicken?
That's
the sea?
I'm not sure exactly which one, but I have to imagine that in 2024 we've now advanced to a new sea.
Sea.
So is it 3 days your cruise or 4 days? How long is it?
I think it's a 7-day.
Is it a full 7-day cruise?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to 3 different spots.
All right.
Honduras and 2 in Mexico. And then, I think it's 7 altogether.
Okay.
I have to look on the thing. But yeah, that sounds right. It's a longer one. Yeah.
That's
because I know we leave out of Galveston and then we're at sea for 2 days before we hit the first port.
Oh, wow.
And then I don't know. Then we hit 2 more, but I can't remember if there's a day at sea in between, or I think there's another day at sea, and then we hit a port, and then another port, then another day at sea, and then home, something like that. I don't know. But anyway.
Fingers crossed, no dysentery. That's all I'm saying. Just fingers crossed, and make it through. Make it through without any intestinal distress. I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for you.
Well, it'll be self-inflicted if I do it.
Just avoid the bisque.
I'm that guy that picks the thing that you can't get anywhere else. Like, because you have like a dinner meal, and they give you like 6 different entrees and you could pick any one you want or all of them if you want to. It's really up to you. And I generally pick the weirdest thing on the list because I know I don't. I'm like, ooh, snails. Okay, let's get snails.
All right.
I don't get to eat snails. Give me snails. I'm that guy. And I generally most of it I like. And that's the beauty of it. If I don't like it, I'm like, this is gross. Give me the shrimp.
But yeah, you didn't pay for it, so it's nice.
You can do that.
Right. That's the same way I approach dinner at the Olive Garden.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the endless pasta, so if I don't like this one, I'll just go move on.
There you go.
That's right.
Exactly. It's part of the perk. So
nice.
We do have a full hour.
Yes, we do.
We're going to talk with Scott Gilmore, one of the Richland Dodge boys here, just to make an update what's going on there. Also this hour, Bob Lavarakis will be joining us from First Church talking about Vacation Bible School. So we got a bevy of things to cover this hour.
Indeed.
So let us get started with the weather. Whether or not you like it is a whole nother story.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot again today. Our afternoon high will be in the low 100s, and we should have sunshine with high pressure overhead for now, maybe a little bit breezy. Overnight, we have a low developing over the area. Might bring us a shower or thunderstorm, a few clouds, and we're in the mid-60s. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. This is staff meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, did I refresh? I did not refresh. Let me refresh so it's fresh. Currently 69 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 33%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. Sunny and hot. 101 our expected high today. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. They're saying there's a chance, a 20% chance of rain. Don't wait up for it because they're talking like overnight, like 3 in the morning. But mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 65 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest, 15 to 20. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 92. Northwest winds at around 15 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 97. Friday, 20% chance of rain for the afternoon, mostly sunny and 94. For Saturday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy and 96. And mostly sunny, 99 for your Sunday. So pretty much floating in the mid to upper 90s for the week with slight chances of rain here or there. All right, it is 12 minutes after 8. We're going to take a quick three and a half minute break. Scott Gilmore's going to talk to us here with Richland on the other side. Don't go away.
This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington. Candy Ezell is running for the state senate, and I want to tell you why she's the best person for this job. Candy has been fighting for us. As a state representative, she's been an advocate for law enforcement and for the rule of law. She's been voting against Michelle Lujan Grisham's attacks on the Second Amendment for years. And whenever Candy stands up and says no, people pay attention. That's why we need her in the state senate. She's also been fighting for all the policies that have led us to the border crisis, including opposing catch and release of violent criminals, drivers, and professional licenses for illegals. A vote for Candy Ezell is a vote to restore law and order and to secure the border here in New Mexico. This is Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington asking you to vote for Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
I'm Candy Spence Ezell asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate District 32.
A bedroom is a quiet escape where I go for peace and comfort. This is Melanie at Glenn's Furniture. I know how important the most private room in your home is for your life and the lives of your family. That's why we offer a selection of bedroom groups that make living easier and more comfortable. Modern designs, bold curves, and stylish fabrics elevate your bedroom space. You'll find your new set easy to sleep on and even easier to own. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Every person listening to this ad right now will agree we as a nation are facing an uncertain future. We're at a crossroads. The status quo has failed us. We've got to fight. We've got to take back what we have lost. With your vote, you can join this fight. We can no longer squander our vote and our voice as if we're voting in a high school popularity contest. Nor can we continue electing self-serving politicians that claim to fight for you while making backroom deals that have facilitated the erosion of your liberties while destroying our livelihoods. My association with various different grassroots organizations, patriot groups, and activists has led to statewide citizen participation efforts to initiate grand jury investigations and the referendum of historically egregious laws. Similar efforts are being planned. These efforts will continue far into the future. We have within our reach the tools and weapons we need to end this tyranny and stop the assault on our faith, our liberties, and our way of life. We have the God-given authority to take back what we have lost. When you vote for Larry Marker, you're not voting for me, you're voting for we.
Paid for by the committee to elect Larry Marker.
Yes, cannabis is legal in New Mexico. Know that there are helpful rules for responsible cannabis use. Yes, you should only buy from a licensed dispensary. Know that if you don't, yours might contain harmful substances. And yes, lock up all cannabis, safely away from kids and pets, in a safe place. And know that cookie jars are not good options. Know your yeses and nos about all things cannabis. From the State of New Mexico Cannabis Control Division. Go to yesandnosnm.com.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Ezell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Ezell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Ezell?
That's right, Candy Ezell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Ezell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Scott Gilmore, Dodge Boys, Richland Dodge, back with us. Morning, Scott.
Morning. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you back. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was great.
You didn't spend all of it working, did you?
No.
Had a little downtime?
Yeah. We had Sunday, Monday off.
Oh, good. that means you're back in business this morning.
Yeah.
So if you're like, man, I was going to get a car, but everyone was off. Come on in. Richland Dodge has got you covered, and drove by the dealership over the weekend and seeing quite a few Gladiators and Jeeps and lots of vehicles on the front, especially on the front line there, where you kind of your showcase area there.
Yeah, we cleared out all those 23 Gladiators and just got our first big shipment 24s in.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the big difference in the 24 and 23? Is there any major differences other than a few features and things?
Major difference is going to be price.
Okay.
We were way overpriced in the last model year, and we've gotten back down to reality on the Gladiator. So come check them out. They got a bigger screen. They've got a power seat option. They got better, and they got awesome. $10,000 cheaper. So
it is awesome, but at the same time, and I'm a Jeep guy, and we know all this, and I love my Jeeps. Bells and whistles are awesome, but sometimes Jeeps, particularly Wranglers, maybe even Gladiators, you kind of want them a little bare bone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they're meant to work. They're meant to, and now don't get me wrong, when you have a big old screen and power seats and all that, it's nice, but I feel like I'm I don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I mean? It's like, this is not supposed to be this nice. It's a Jeep. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that throws me off a little bit. I love it and embrace it, but it takes me a minute because I'm like, I'm supposed to see bare bone bars and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Jeeps are especially the Gladiators. They're just like driving a Ram pickup or something that is the inside's like driving in a luxury car or something like that. They're really granted, suspension's designed to handle rocks and all that, but the ride is much smoother than like the Jeep of old, like the people think. So.
Yeah.
So
no,
come check them out.
We got 5 total in. We got some Mojaves, Rubicon, a Willys, and a Sport, and that's going to be the bare bones one. That was the first one to go, so you're not wrong.
Yeah.
We can get them. You can order them. We can trade for them. We'll get it here if that's what you're looking for. But
that being said, when I do get my next Jeep, I think there's a few bells and whistles I'd like to add for this next one. So
yeah.
But so prices are coming down. So really, now that we're getting into the summer months here, Memorial Day's officially happened. We're kind of officially in summer now.
Yeah.
Now's the time to come walk the lot, come see some of these new vehicles. Like you said, new inventory's coming in, which also means generally the pre-owned picks up too, because people come in, buy new vehicles, trade in their old ones, which usually kind of stacks up the pre-owned side a little bit too. So I imagine that side's even looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, it is. It's looking real good, actually. We've got a nice selection. We've got some trucks, some SUVs, some cars.
Yeah.
Just about any payment range.
And I know with kids going to college here before you know it, and people looking for good, reliable vehicles for their kids to go to back and forth to school and stuff like that. But you don't want to put them in a brand new Gladiator, obviously. So, get them one of these great, reliable, late model pre-owned vehicles that they're safe in and all that. That if they do what young people do in vehicles, you don't have to worry about them, put too much dings and dents on that thing.
And they come with the powertrain for life, too, and the half-price oil changes.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. Regardless, whether you go to the GM store or the Dodge store, whether you buy pre-owned or brand new, you're a brand champion. You're part of the Richland Brand Champion program, which comes with all kinds of perks for the lifetime of you owning that vehicle, not just for a year or two, but the lifetime you own in that vehicle. Oil changes. There's all kinds of perks, discounts on parts and labor and towing rides and things like that when vehicles are being serviced. There's all kind of perks for being a brand champion there. So, and anytime, and if you already bought a vehicle from Richland, you're already in the club. You don't need a membership card or nothing. You're already in. But that's one of those perks on top of all the other stuff we're talking about. So the prices are coming down, but when you buy it through Richland, you get second to none service after the sale. So that's really what's about.
Another big thing we got going, besides the manufacturer having a little bit more realistic pricing, making us a little more competitive, we've got everything at invoice. We've also got permission through the end of the month to discount everything new on the lot, an additional $3,000. So off the previously advertised price. So if you saw something that was discounted $5,000 already,
Tack
had
on
another
another
$2,000 rebates. Well, guess what? If you come in, mention this radio ad or the ad that we sent out, which should be in your email, you're going to get another $3,000 off.
Nice.
Yeah.
So come in and save, and so you've been eyeballing those Gladiators.
Yeah.
Take another $3,000 off on that one too.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So come in this week, and you got to. Today's the 28th.
Yeah.
So the month's over here in a couple days.
Yeah, we got four days.
Yeah.
4 days.
So get it done this weekend. You can't afford to wait till the weekend to do this. You got to get it done this week.
Yeah. Come in. We've got to clear them out. We've got to use the discounts, and what better time to do it now?
Absolutely. And like I said, and every time I've had I've had any kind of experience at Richland. It doesn't matter if it's a GM store or the Dodge store. Great service, the people treat it's a great experience. Whatever, if you're there to get your vehicle serviced, or if you're there to buy a new vehicle, or whatever you're there to do, it doesn't matter. The staff, everyone there, from the guys washing the cars to the one selling you the vehicle to the one working on your vehicle, they all utmost professionals and just treat you like family. You literally can walk in there and you catch them at lunchtime, and it's like, hey, you want some chicken, want a sandwich? I mean, it's really like that. It really, it's they're professional, don't get me wrong, but also family and formal. So, it's not an intimidating experience. They're really good, and they love working, whether it's at the Dodge store, at the GM store. They have people that are really good at working the numbers and helping people afford vehicles that or get them approved when they think they weren't going to get approved for a vehicle. They have great relationships with lenders and things. So please take advantage of all that. The Richland folks, the Dodge store, the GM store have built their reputation, their relationships, their quality. They've done all that. All you need to do is come in and take advantage of it. Because, you and I have talked about COVID, what you guys did during COVID. People were marking up prices. You guys were doing the complete opposite of that, and now you're seeing the results of that. People are going to the businesses that took care of them when times weren't good, and that was Richland. And now it's even, hey, prices are coming down. Yeah, our prices were high last year because the way guess what? They're not now. Come see us today. They're, it's a lot cheaper to get a Jeep today than it was a year ago.
It is.
Come talk to us.
Big time.
Yeah. So come see the Richland Dodge boys here, and to be honest, if you find a vehicle on that lot, head on over to the GM store, and maybe they'll try to sell you a Silverado or something. But
now through the end of the month, we're just we're trying to take all.
I'm taking advantage of these deals,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you, it's just it's good people trying to just be honest and do right by people. If you're looking for a great vehicle, regardless if you want a brand new, highfalutin, expensive pickup truck, or you're like, dude, I just need something to get me to and from the store every day. No matter what it is, Richland will make sure you're taken care of. Good deal.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything we didn't get a chance to talk about?
No. Really just want to get the message out there that we've got an additional $3,000 off all the new vehicles.
We got cars, and they're on sale, and they're priced to move. So
Yes, sir.
Like I said, the end of the month is just a couple days away. Come by today. Scott's on his way to the office after this. Go meet him at the dealership and say, what was that Gladiator you're talking about again? And he'll be happy. to show it to you.
Exactly.
Good deal. Well, thank you, Scott. Thanks for hanging out. I know we kept you longer than you wanted to.
No.
So we do appreciate that. But we'll see you next time. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. It is 8:25. We're going to take a commercial break here, and then we will talk with Bob Lavarakis with First Church, talking some Vacation Bible School on the other side. Don't go away.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. NVIDIA still carrying technology. Retail heavyweights report this week. AI earnings season rolls on. Wall Street coming off a mixed week of trading. The Dow finished with a weekly loss for the first time in May. Last Friday's gains helped boost the S&P into the green. NVIDIA earnings carrying the NASDAQ to a 2% weekly gain. The chip maker beat Wall Street targets by a long shot. NVIDIA's stock trading above $1,000 a share, up more than 120% for the year. Salesforce earnings Wednesday. Earnings per share forecast up more than 40% year over year. The stock struggling, though, of late, down 5% this past week. Costco's stock price target upgraded ahead of Thursday's earnings. Costco just reported April sales up more than 7% over a year ago. Meanwhile, membership retention is up to 93%. That's higher than the global average. Wholesale competitor BJ's reported higher earnings last week, a good sign for Costco. Artificial intelligence dominating the earnings conversation. Nearly 200 companies have mentioned AI in earnings calls this season. Of those companies, AI has come up an average of 11 times per call. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report, right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I've been hearing a lot about Lang Insurance. They sell luxury home insurance to high net worth individuals in all 50 states. Call Kevin Lang at Lang Insurance. Call 866-964-4434. He's an expert in reviewing your current coverage to save you money, leaving you with your current insurance company or moving you to a less expensive one. Kevin speaks with every new client. Your call, they quote, you save. That's 866-964-4434 or visit langins.com.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals. And Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
When you're healthy, you can do amazing things. We're all about that. Because if you don't have access to health insurance through your work, or you just lost Medicaid, Be Well can connect you to the right health plan for you, your family, and your budget. We want to make your life a little easier, worry-free, and healthier. Because your health is everything. Be strong, be adventurous, and be amazing. Be Well. New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Learn more at BeWellNM.com.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
If you're a service member, veteran, or family member who's feeling alone,
whether you're in crisis or not,
don't remain silent and suffer alone.
There is help out there.
Talk to someone you can trust.
Free confidential support is available 24/7 through the Veterans Crisis Line. Just text or call 988 and press 1 for veterans. Talking to someone about suicide won't increase the risk of suicide. It could save a life. Brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Veterans Services, the Department of Health, and this station.
When it comes to fighting the governor and her progressive lackeys in the state house, we need a proven conservative. This is Jared Hembry, and I have taken on the left-wing agenda as your conservative representative. New Mexico has serious issues, many of which are being ignored by the governor and the liberal left, and we need a representative who will fight to protect our way of life. I know what it takes to fight and win in Santa Fe. I am humbly asking for your trust and your vote on or before June 4th so I can continue to fight for what we believe.
Paid for by Jared Hembry for State Representative.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:31, and joining us in studio this morning from First Church here in Roswell, Bob Lavaracca is back with us. Good morning, Bob. How are you doing?
Morning, Mike.
Great to see you. How was your Memorial Day?
It was excellent.
Spent some time with family?
Well, family's out of town.
Okay.
Went to the memorial service at South Park.
Oh, you went to the one that, down there at South Park.
Very,
excellent.
Very touching.
They did a great job down there.
They did. Yesterday. Kudos to them. Memorial Day, Veterans Day. My dad was an Army Ranger, and he was in the invasion of Normandy Omaha Beach.
Oh, wow.
And survived it. But unfortunately, 2 weeks later, he and his men were in a personnel carrier, and they were heading to deep into Germany, and they drove over a landmine. And my dad was one of two men to survive. He was blown up pretty badly, received numerous injuries. He was sent to London, and he was operated on. And when he was finished, when they were finished operating, first thing he said was, "I want to go back and fight."
Wow.
And they said, "Lieutenant, you can't. You can't." So he censored letters for the rest of the war. But the men from that and women from that generation, the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
One day, my dad finally opened up about what had happened. And I said, "Dad, you're a hero." And you know what he said to me? He said, "Bob, I'm not a hero."
Most don't look at them that way. Yeah.
He said, "I know many men that were better, much better soldiers and men than I was, and they died." That's the way. And unfortunately, my dad had a very bad case of what was called back then shell shock.
Yeah, they didn't really understand PTSD back then. That wasn't a thing. And to be honest, Vietnam and pretty much anything pre-Gulf War, they really didn't talk much about that kind of stuff. So.
The thing is, my dad never had a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He ended up being a chemistry professor, genius, brilliant man, turned that awful part of his life around and touched many lives by being a wonderful teacher. But I know this, that one day the Lord gave me the privilege and honor to lead him to Christ when he was 91 years old. A year later, he died. And right now, I know that if there are times when he sleeps, which isn't biblical, but he has a new body, no pain, all joy, laughter, and
sleeps whenever he wants to.
Sleeps whenever he wants to. Yeah.
You know, that's absolutely true. I believe, and you and I have said this. That's the beauty of God, is no matter how late to the ball game, you're always welcome.
Right.
And that's, with your dad, the life struggles and the things he saw, and that's why Memorial Day is what it is. When we talk about and you get those veterans that occasionally say thank you. It's always good to thank a veteran. I don't care. There's never a wrong time to thank a veteran.
Yes,
but
sir.
Sometimes veterans, when on Memorial Day, hey, thank you for your service. Like, it's not for me. This is for those that didn't come home. And you're absolutely right. But this is why that day is so much more, because it's the day is not. It's not even about the people that we lost. We lost them. It's the people that remember coming home and remember afterwards. The veterans, the ones that didn't come home, they're in a better place. I believe that.
Well, Mike,
and it's for us the day because it's for us to remember the importance of what those folks did. And I know we had the day of grilling and all that and family, and that's nothing wrong with that. That's important too. But the sacrifices that these young men and women have made before us, that were 17, 18-year-old kids, in many cases, they're kids. Their highlight of the day is, I want to get a beer. I want to, you know what I mean? They want to live life. And so all that was taken away because they said that they were going to preserve the freedom that this country, and that's why Memorial Day is such a big deal. And yes, do all the cookouts and family time together, because the veterans that paid the ultimate sacrifice is exactly what you want you to do, to be with your families, to have those times together. They did this so you can do that. So
don't take it for granted.
Yep.
Yeah.
But let's remember.
Whenever I come across any veteran, especially a Vietnam vet, because I was not too many months or a year away from being drafted, what I say to a Vietnam vet is, while you were fighting, while you were in the thick of it. On a Friday afternoon, I was looking around my classroom, looking at all the different girls, and who should I invite to the dance that night? Betty Sue or Mary or Sarah. I was doing that when you were dying in blood and agony so that I could live a life of freedom, of choosing. And it's cuckoo, but it's not. It's this is typical Jesus. When you think about it, Jesus said, "No greater love has any man than this, that he lays down his life for his fellow man."
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what those men did,
Absolutely.
and women.
And I would almost be willing to guarantee that if you had an opportunity to ask those men and women if they do it all over again the same, they absolutely would.
Yeah.
And that's why we celebrate them and honor them.
My dad didn't open up until I was 50.
And that makes sense.
What happened was we were living in Texas, and my folks were living with us. We were taking care of them. Said, "Dad, would you like to go see Saving Private Ryan?" And we told him about the movie. So we all went, the whole family. And
he okay with it?
He handled it real well.
Okay.
But the way my dad was, he taught 3 types of college chemistry: organic, inorganic, and radioactive chemistry. He was very precise. He had to be. His life depended on it. And he was so specific that on the way home, we said, "Dad, was it the real deal?" And he said it sure was. He said the only mistake they made was that time of year, the apples would not have been ripened. They would have been green. He picked that out. Other than that movie, quoting my dad, was right on the money.
That makes sense to me. And I just happened to watch some of it over the weekend because it was Memorial Day weekend and it was on quite a bit. And that movie, the parts what remind me, to me it's so true. I mean, it's not even the display of the explosions and the fight. Obviously the first. The whole D-Day invasion at the beginning of that movie, people talk about, the accuracy of it and the realness of it and everything else. And to me, yes, they did a great job with that, but that's not what makes that movie great to me. What makes that movie great to me is the fact that it nails the mindset of the GI. And what I mean by that, because look, if you've never seen the movie, the whole premise of the movie is Private Ryan's, all his brothers were killed in action. He's the last one left. And so this group of soldiers are tasked with a mission of going to find this kid in the middle of nowhere and bring him home. That's the whole point of the movie. And what makes that so real to me is the people in it. Those guys, the characters that are portraying every man of all, GIs, they nail that to me. Like, yes, they grumble, they talk, but when push comes to shove, they're going to do whatever. Like, why are we running around through Europe looking for this kid to send him home? I want to go home. And they do all that and they nail that. But when it's time to see what's going down and why they're doing it, to a man, every one of them's like, nope, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And that succinctly gives an idea of what the typical GI mindset was to me. I think they nail that very well in that. And so the fight scenes are amazing, and they do a great job of evoking that. But to me, it's the conversations, the camaraderie, what's happening in the foxhole or in the church while they're getting a couple hours of sleep. That, to me, is what makes it so much better for me, and what makes that movie so realistic to me.
Yeah.
So,
well,
anyway.
can I say this real quickly?
Yeah.
The thing is there might, and this is special to me. There might be men or women out there where their father came home and he had or she had problems of what the United States government asked them to do.
Sure.
We minister to men at Gyra Ministry that have been through that. We love them. We love on them. We supply them with whatever we can,
Sure.
and spiritually. The thing is my dad came home, and this might be one person, Mike, in your audience that say, well, gee, this guy's talking about my relationship with my father, that my dad lost something in the war. Okay. And the thing is I'd like to mention to these men and women that had a problem with their father.
Mm-hmm.
If he lost something and in his own strength he couldn't regain it, I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
My father, wonderful man, but he, there were things that I needed from him that were just not in his ability to relate to someone as complex as I was,
Absolutely.
my brother, my sisters. The thing is, for many years, I was very unforgiving, even as a Christian, toward my father because of the things that he did to me
Sure.
and the things he couldn't do for me. And one day, I walked into his room, his bedroom, a year before he died, and I said, Dad, I forgive you. I forgive you for what you did to me and you couldn't do for me. And he turned around, he said, Bob, I ask you to forgive me too. We left it all on the table, Mike.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And 2 weeks later, the Lord asked me to go and to share the gospel with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And my father repented of all his sins,
That's awesome.
trusted Christ as Lord and Savior. A year later, he went on to be with the Lord. And right after he died, I was there, my brother and my oldest sister. And they looked and they said, gee, we've never seen this kind of peace, this look, this countenance on Dad's face. And I stayed humble, and I said, there's a very good reason for that. So
that's awesome that happened, that experience got to happen. Yeah. You always wish it was earlier in life, but better late than never, right? And it was so glad that you had to have that moment with your father, and he was able to let go and accept.
Yeah. So that's for someone out in your audience that might be going through that with their father.
Yeah. Or anybody in life.
Anybody. Yeah. Forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do it, but once you do it, you realize that so much goes away after that. You know what I mean? Once you've truly let that go, and it's not easy to do, but once you do it.
But most of it is not for that person, it's for you.
Absolutely.
Because if you harbor, like I did for many years, that's going to chew you up and spit you out.
All that anger and resentment's taking up valuable real estate in your head and creating a lot of other problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should we get on with why
Let's
I'm
talk
here?
about the good part. Let's talk about Vacation Bible School.
You probably think of me as a lost long uncle that came to stay for 3 days, and gee, this guy comes back every 4 days, 10 days.
I love sharing wisdom on this show, and you're a man full of wisdom, and I love having you on.
God,
so
it's
a
good.
great thing.
Well, at First Baptist, from June 3rd through the 6th, in the morning from 8:30 to 12, we're having Vacation Bible School for kids who have completed kindergarten through 5th grade.
Excellent. So pretty much elementary age kids there.
Yeah. Every day, our kids are bombarded with questions. Did God really create everything? Why do bad things happen? Was Noah's Ark real? Why do I need to be saved? Can I trust the Bible? At this VBS, your kids will explore the biblical answers to these questions as they set off on an epic adventure from Genesis to Revelation, amid sloths, butterflies, river dolphins, and dart frogs. Your children will sail along on a fun jungle cruise, stopping at 7 ports of call. These ports are the 7 seas of history: creation, corruption, catastrophe, confusion, Christ, the cross, and consummation. Kids will discover how these events shape our world, and they will learn to reconnect the Bible to their everyday life. Prepare to swing into fun as we head out on the great jungle journey. Register on the First Baptist Church of Roswell website, fbcroswell.org, or you can please go ahead and call Shirley Bailey, our secretary, at 575-623-2640.
Yeah, if you're looking for a great week of it's fun. That's part of it too. It's a great week, and I encourage you to send your child to as many vacation Bible schools. Each church does one around here, and I say bring your kid to all of them. Why not? That's give them exposed to as much of the fun and the message as possible.
Yeah, and Mike, Christianity isn't a club. You don't have to belong to our church. You don't have to belong. It's not a club.
No.
Our prayer is that every VBS given by every Bible-believing evangelical church in Roswell.
Love it.
That you do it to the best of your capability. For when we do things, we're not doing it for us as unto the Lord.
Absolutely.
And if I can just say about First Baptist, I've been a Christian 42 years. And I do not believe in jumping churches. I've only been to 3 in 42 years. And I'm going to give a shout out to the pastors, Pastor Chris Lithgow,
They do an
Pastor
amazing job.
Nathan Smith, Pastor Jacob Bassing, and Lori, who is the
youth pastor.
Is the youth pastor. No church is perfect, because if I could find a perfect church, the second I walked into it, Mike, it would become unperfect.
But I get what you're saying. You're right.
And people say, well, Bob, the church is full of hypocrites.
Yeah.
And what I say is, come on in, there's room for one more.
Absolutely.
The Apostle Paul was a hypocrite. Moses was. David was.
We're all sinners.
We're all sinners. We're all hypocrites in one way or another. We can't use that for an excuse anymore. That excuse doesn't fly.
And I would even argue, look at the world we live in today. Christianity is under attack. Does it matter if you're Baptist or Protestant or Methodist or Lutheran or Catholic? You're a Christian. Let's support Christianity.
Right.
And in a world where people are trying to tear down Christianity, maybe it's time to rally the troops. And we're all children of Christ, regardless if you're a Methodist or a Baptist or a Lutheran or a Catholic.
Correct.
Yep.
The pastor that led me to Christ, one of the first things, this is kind of when Jimmy Swaggart had his fall. And I said, Pastor, what do you think about Jimmy Swaggart's fall? And he said, Bob, I'm going to tell you this, and I want you to remember it. And I do. He said, in Christianity, we do not believe in burying our wounded. We're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to do that with unbelievers. So if we're not supposed to do it with unbelievers, how in heaven's name do we get the right or the privilege to throw people that have fallen under the bus? I've had to repent more as a Christian than before I was a Christian.
Sure.
And I'm thankful that the Holy Spirit does not condemn me.
If we're all perfect, we wouldn't need God now.
We wouldn't need God.
There's only one thing perfect.
Yeah.
The rest of us try to walk his path. That's all we're trying to do.
So at First Baptist, as with every other evangelical church in town, the pastors have worked tirelessly. The servants, again, I'm not going with volunteers. I'm going with servants at First Baptist, and other churches have worked tirelessly. Why?
Because they want to. It's about serving God. That's what it is at the end of the day, and through that, pleasing ourselves and serving ourselves. Yeah.
Jesus said, "There's only 2 commandments to keep," because the Jews in the Old Testament came up with 10. They couldn't keep those, so they went to another 613. So if you can't keep 10, how in the Lord's name can you keep 613?
Sure.
Jesus said only two things. He made it easy. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. We do this whole VBS ministries with churches. It's out of love for God first, and then our neighbor.
Absolutely.
That's simple.
Absolutely. And your kids will love it. This is the thing about vacation, because it presents this message, and obviously, they're all themed, and this one's going to be jungle themed, so there's going to be lots of animals and things like that. So the kids, the younger ones that are going to be gravitating towards the animals and stuff, will be getting that message. Obviously, as their fifth graders are a little bit older, that message will resonate a little bit. But that's what Vacation Bible School is. It's completely free. So bring your children. Come if you're coming to bring them because you want them to be babysat or whatever. Okay. But guess what? Don't be surprised if some great stuff rubs off on them while they're there for the week.
Right.
And so I kind of look at it like, whatever got you to the river, so be it. You know what I mean? You're here now, let's take a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mike, I wish, you know my story. I wish someone had talked to me about this Jesus when I was 6, when I was 10, when I was 15. It would have, it maybe would have saved me a lot of pain.
You know what? Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Part of me says you had to go through what you had to go through to get to where you're at now.
Yeah.
I always, I've got things in my life like everybody does that you're not happy about or regret, or things you would maybe do different with an opportunity the second time around. But at the end of the day, it makes me who I am. And the things, the good part and the bad parts, is through my experiences in life. And so, sometimes you gotta hit the bottom to see the light, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's the beauty of everything we're talking about here. It doesn't matter how dark, how deep down in that pit you are, or were, or when in your life you were there. The moment you accept, all that goes away. It goes away.
Great point. And what's cool, and I know you have other people to be with, but the thing is, what I've learned through the years, and it was a huge moment in my life. I realized, and I understood November 7th, 1982, when I repented of all my sin, even the sin of murder. Jesus forgave me for every sin, and then he delivered me from being a drunk and a drug abuser. But down the road, and as Christians, thank God he doesn't give us everything in one day, because we couldn't take it. We couldn't understand it. Because how can my 2.5 pound, well, I'm getting a little heavy there. How can my 2-pound brain wrap itself around the finite God? It can't. But the thing is, and this is for people in your audience, believe me, when Jesus died for you, he not only died for all your sin, he took all your shame and guilt. If there's anyone out there that has shame or guilt about something they did 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, last night, turn to Christ and repent and say, I'm sorry, and he will release you from that shame and guilt. He did it for me. And the Bible says God is no respecter of persons. He did it for me. He can do it for anybody.
Absolutely.
Please think about it.
Absolutely. Before we go, give the dates and times for everything for the Vacation Bible School and for sign up to the logistical side. I know we hit him with a lot of stuff, but I do want to get him with the meat part here one more time.
Vacation Bible School is from the dates of June 3rd through the 6th.
So next week here.
Correct. And the mornings will start at 8:30 and finish at 12.
Excellent. So it'll be done by noon, so you can pick them up and then have the afternoon with the kids to go do whatever you want to do next with them. Or,
and who knows? Maybe something that a young child heard they might repeat that to mom and dad.
Oh, it rubs off.
And they might start thinking, if they're not already Christians, they might start thinking a little more seriously.
Absolutely. Just think of the dinner table conversations that night.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you next time here.
See you in 3 days.
We'll see you in 3 days. Thank you, sir.
Mike, we at First Baptist and the churches and the organizations in town, I can speak for them. We love you.
Well, thank you.
And we care for you. And we appreciate that you still believe in the First Amendment.
Absolutely.
And some people don't.
I'm a forum for everyone to especially when it comes to this. This is how we grow as people. We learn. I'm a goofball, but at the same time, I do it. If we can figure things, if we can solve problems this way, then we solve problems.
Yeah,
and that's what it's about. And this is a place for everyone,
yep,
and including people I disagree with. So good deal. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
As always, Bob. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
8:58. Quick local news before more news. Don't go away.
Thanks. Now your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Hobbs police have identified a teenager who was shot and critically wounded Saturday morning. Emergency crews began CPR on 18-year-old James Lara Salazar, who was found with multiple gunshot wounds in the 2000 block of North Kingsley Street in Hobbs just after midnight on Saturday. Police are asking anyone with information to please call them. They have not said if there has been any arrest in the case or even what the dispute was about. The BLM has published its latest finding and rulings regarding oil and gas drilling and other mineral extraction from a complex cave system in southeast New Mexico. The BLM deciding to withdraw the Guadalupe Cave Resource Protection Area from consideration for mineral development for the next 20 years. The move being made, according to the BLM, to protect the area for recreation and its sensitive cave ecosystem. The Guadalupe Cave Resource Protection Area is about 28,500 acres in the southern portion of Lincoln National Forest in Eddy County and amid the Permian Basin region of southeast New Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot again today. Our afternoon high will be in the low 100s, and we should have sunshine with high pressure overhead for now, maybe a little bit breezy. Overnight, we have a low developing over the area. Might bring us a shower or thunderstorm, a few clouds, and we're in the mid-60s. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. This is staff meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Former President Trump, accompanied by several of his adult children, calls this a very sad day, a dark day in America. Mr. Trump once again denouncing his prosecution as he showed up for court in Manhattan this morning.
Make no mistake about it. I'm here because of crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroying our country. This country is being destroyed rapidly, not slowly, rapidly. On the borders, on energy, on inflation, on everything you can name.
Closing arguments are underway now, with the defense telling jurors that Mr. Trump is innocent and broke no laws. Once closing arguments are done, Judge Juan Merchan will charge the jury, and the deliberations will then begin. That could happen as soon as later today. A series of powerful storms across the central and southern U.S. over the weekend killed at least 23 people, left behind a wide path that shattered homes and businesses, as well as numerous power outages. A deadly Gaza airstrike ramps up the pressure on Israel to hit the brakes on its war on Hamas terrorism.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a tragic mistake was made in an Israeli strike in the southern Gaza city of Rafah that set fire to a camp housing displaced Palestinians and, according to local officials, killed at least 45 people. Netanyahu did not elaborate on the error. Israel's military had initially said it's carried out a precise airstrike on a Hamas compound, killing 2 senior militants. I'm Charles Villadesma.
Ireland, Spain, and Norway officially recognizing a Palestinian state. It's a move that Israel says telegraphs terrorism pays. Wall Street, the Dow down 142 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
If it's not already there, it appears that Iran is oh so close to going nuclear.
According to a confidential report by the United Nations nuclear watchdog, Iran has further increased its stockpile of uranium enriched to near weapons-grade levels. Iran is seeking to have economic sanctions imposed over the country's controversial nuclear program lifted in exchange for slowing the program down. The report by the International Atomic Energy Agency also comes against the backdrop of heightened tensions in the wider Middle East over the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Israel and Iran carried out direct strikes on each other's territory for the first time last month. I'm Norman Hall.
A typhoon has finally let go of the Philippines, leaving at least 7 people dead, mostly due to floods or toppled trees. The storm also forced the closures of several seaports, stranding thousands of passengers. The typhoon lingered over the Philippines for several days before moving on. Townhall.com. The free market's trying to compensate for the ravages of inflation that has decimated our pocketbooks over the past several years.
As the weather heats up, major retailers are stepping up discounts, hoping to entice shoppers into opening their wallets. Target, Walmart, and other chains have rolled out price cuts, some permanent, others temporary, with the goal of giving their customers some relief. The reductions, which mostly involve groceries, are getting introduced as inflation showed its first sign of easing this year. But it's not enough for consumers who are struggling to pay for basic necessities as well as rent and car insurance. I'm Shelley Adler.
It's more proof, perhaps it's the best evidence, that artificial intelligence is really the next big thing. A group of investors will put up $6 billion to fund development of artificial intelligence by Elon Musk's xAI. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy not Monday. Mm-hmm. It is Tuesday.
Yes.
Hopefully you're having a wonderful day so far.
Does it take a little bit of the fun out of having summer off, knowing that the first day you had off, everybody else did too? Kim?
wouldn't say it takes the fun out of it, but it makes it feel like it hasn't hit me yet.
Right. But then watching everybody...
Today it hit me because Mike gets up to go to work.
Right, watching everybody trudge in and do their thing, and
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm going to turn on the hour 3 of the Today Show. Let's see what's up with Hoda today. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
she's got her daytime TV routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it consists of the news, of course.
Now, I know you like your stories.
She doesn't watch her story anymore.
Well, that's not on NBC anymore.
They put it on
moved
Peacock, and then she stopped watching it.
I can't watch it. That
And I think it's not on Peacock.
Do they not do soap operas? See, I never watch daytime TV, especially not network.
Mostly talk shows now.
Is it?
Mostly it's
The Talk, The Chew, the...
Yeah. What's her name? The American Idol chick. Kelly Clarkson's got a show.
I knew she had a show.
The other
Drew Barrymore, I know.
Drew Barrymore. The other American Idol.
Why does Drew Barrymore...
Jennifer Hudson's got a show. Yeah.
Why does Drew Barrymore always look like she's about to cry? Like she always... I'm not, you're not an expert. I'm not asking you. But it just seems like every time I see Drew Barrymore, she has this face like she's about to just go, I
have thoughts on Drew Barrymore.
No. Yeah,
I have thoughts on her.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well...
Are they safe to air?
Yeah, mostly.
You don't sound too sure of yourself. You might want to wait.
Here's my thing on Drew Barrymore.
Okay.
Drew Barrymore, being a child star, has been in the spotlight pretty much her whole life.
Oh, yeah.
Being a Barrymore and
she
a
started
child
at 5
actor
with E.T.
as a famous child actor, and then her growing up into adulthood into the later 80s and 90s, she was right at the heart of the whole, like she was young enough to be cool, like in that whole grunge 90s era. So she kind of had, that was her heyday of coolness. Like she was hanging out with the in crowds, the party scenes,
right.
you know, and then she kind of moved into a phase of life where she's doing Adam Sandler movies all the time. And that's, I think, her former years where she started having her own kids,
right?
Started raising. Now that I think her kids are older, because now in the last 3-4 years, she kind of dropped off the spotlight for a little bit. Like she was doing an occasional Adam Sandler movie here and there, but you really hadn't seen her much.
She did sort of fade to obscurity for the mid 2010s,
and then right after COVID hit, she kind of got back into the I don't know if she just ran out of money or her she needs her ego fed. I don't know. But she all of a sudden turned into, oh, by the way, I'm still Drew Barrymore, the cool, relevant person. Young people like me. Older people now like me. Problem is, she doesn't realize young people don't really like her.
Well,
they look at her as old, and she acts like she's still in her 20s on commercials and TV. And like that trope is not working for me.
There's a weird, like, I don't know if this is just like a generational thing, but people who were like uber famous in like the mid 2000s, like that era, it feels to me like they like held on to, they're trying their best to hold on to something.
Yeah.
Like the one that pops into my mind is Zach Braff and Donald Faison. Like they're still trying to hold on to that, we're just 20 something guys. We're just, the boys
she's
hanging
doing
out.
the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
But they're all, they're in their at this point, mid 40s to late 40s.
Exactly.
Families and kids. And they haven't fully accepted that yoke yet.
And that's what I think. Like she talks and acts like she's in her 20s. And I'm like, you're not. You're in your 50s. Stop it.
Well, I do the same thing. It's called trying to hold on to your relevance, Mike. Just because you've accepted your adulthood.
It's to be honest, she would probably be so much better if she just embraced her time in her life instead of trying to act like a cover girl.
She is kind of the spokesperson and the poster girl of perimenopause.
Really?
Yes, she is.
Well, good for her.
She is embracing.
I don't know if that's a poster I want to be on, though.
She's embracing.
Well, all I know is
hot flashes, irritability.
But then right after that, she's doing an ad for CoverGirl like she's 22. And I'm like, no, you're not 22. You need more concealer now.
Now, I will say she's done a pretty good job of maintaining her look.
Oh yeah, she looks
She doesn't-
fine.
She's
She doesn't.
aging well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks fine. She's just trying to act like a 22-year-old.
So you want her to do ads for like Boniva, or
I just want her to stop acting like she's everybody's buddy every time she comes on TV. Like she walks in, like, "Hi, how are you doing?" Da, da, da. Like she's trying to be over the top nice to you, and it's like, shut up and quit acting like that.
That's more daytime TV face, though.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like if you look at any like
it
the
looks
daytime.
so disingenuous to me. It looks fake, and that's what I have. Quit trying to look like a fake warmness.
Yeah, I will say it does. It does look like she probably scowls at her assistants.
Yeah,
she probably has a few stories backstage. But it's same thing with Ellen. If you look at like the Ellen back in the day, she always exuded that
yeah. I don't. But that's it. I don't think
happiness and-
Drew's like that. I think she's legitimately nice to people.
Sure.
She comes off like when she's trying to turn it on, she turns it on like I'm a little cutesy girl, like trying to act cutesy. And I'm like, you're 50 some years old now.
Sure.
Stop doing that.
The
Act
argument,
like an adult.
The argument could also be made that's all she's really ever known.
Maybe.
She's surrounded herself by yes men
But
like
she
like
appears like she's
glad-handers.
got somewhat of a brain on her sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm just stop.
Can't be coming up on my 6 like that, homie.
Yes, Roy.
What?
Go on. You came up on my 6 like that. I just felt a presence behind me. I didn't know it was Roy.
No, I got a good example.
Okay.
Right? To compare this to. That's Avril Lavigne.
She's still around?
She
Kinda
is.
like
I've
how-
seen her in like 20 years.
She's doing the same thing where she's trying to like do this whole like I'm not old
Oh,
kind of
really?
thing.
I didn't even know she was like famous anymore.
Well,
When's she done anything?
She's maintained that whole
She had like 2, 3 hit songs in the 90s, and now everyone like still talks about
Well,
it like she's a thing.
She married Chad Kroeger, and now she's doing the tour circuit. She actually
She married Chad Kroeger?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they were married for like a
Are they
decade.
divorced now?
I think they're divorced now.
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
She's sort of like
I don't
branching
care about
out
these
into
people.
country music though, kind of like a lot of artists
dear.
are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from because she did that whole tie with the wife beater look thing, the skater boy thing.
Yeah, and then watch the music video Hello Kitty. And look at how she's trying to still like act like a little
That song came out a decade ago.
Well,
The Hello Kitty song? Yeah, that song came out a decade ago.
Yeah.
She was still young.
We are not the people to talk about relevant things.
Yeah, we're not.
None of us are.
The only reason I know about that song is because I put it into the system in one of the other radio
Look
stations I
at
worked
the
at.
queen herself, Madonna, trying to look young.
She's still the
and
queen?
To act young.
Yeah.
And she's a joke when she does that now.
I was like, she's still the queen? I thought she was a joke at
She
this
was the queen.
Yeah.
But
stop just trying to stay relevant is one.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that Avril Lavigne and Chad Kroeger were married at some point.
That caught me off guard too.
Hero can save us.
We all find that one crystallized moment of like this was our peak, this was like the our prime, and we're all just kind of trying to live that out. Again, keep that up.
Yep.
So I understand where you're coming from with Drew should act her age, but she's also trying to hold on to that status as long as she can.
She can do the Adam Sandler movies. They're fine. Quit acting like you're a cutesy 22-year-old trying to sell me makeup. I just don't care anymore.
Well, I
Stop
understand. As for the rest of us, we're going to hold on to 16 as long as we can. Changes come around real soon, make us women and men.
All right, chili dog.
That's the wrong way to eat a chili dog.
I am. Two American kids.
I don't know. I
calling
saw
me
his rant
him
on
Land.
at a concert a couple of weeks ago. I don't even want to quote him anymore.
I didn't see the rant.
Oh, John Cougar?
Yeah, did he go off?
Oh, yeah. He was at a concert, and I think he stopped singing. I think he went off
Oh,
stage
wow.
because he was salty about politics.
Mhm.
Oh.
He's just an angry old man at this point.
He got booed off stage.
That man's a mental health. He can't even figure out what his real name is. Let alone what
Yeah,
his
what do we
thoughts
call
on
what do we
things.
call him now?
One minute he's John Cougar, now John Cougar Mellencamp, then John Mellencamp.
Do you think he opens for himself? He's like John Cougar open up for John Cougar Mellencamp?
I don't think anybody should listen to any advice that clown shoe has, but that's just me.
We cover Billy Joel songs, but only the 80s Billy Joel.
Right.
Right, yeah.
It's like, shut up, mental patient. Because you have a microphone, I mean, you got to tell everybody everything. Shut up. They ain't here to listen to you talk. Sing your stupid chili dog song. Get off.
Sing your chili dog song. Although, I got to say, you were coming a little close to home there when Tuppy T said your chili dog song. Just because you got a microphone doesn't mean anybody wants to hear your thoughts. Like, all right, cool. I'll be in the other room, I guess.
They'll fire me. So, I mean, Cougar's been around. People actually paid him to be there. So, anyway,
that's true.
We're gonna replay our interview we had with Peggy Boland talking Camp Invention, which is next week, by the way, happening at All Saints Catholic School. Great week of fun. So we're gonna play that interview here in just a minute. But before we do that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot again today. Our afternoon high will be in the low 100s, and we should have sunshine with high pressure overhead for now, maybe a little bit breezy. Overnight, we have a low developing over the area. Might bring us a shower or thunderstorm, a few clouds, and we're in the mid-60s. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. This is staff meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, forgot to refresh my weather. I apologize. There we go. Freshen that up. Currently 74 degrees already here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40%. Says winds are not available. It means, I guess, the machine out at the airport's not working at the moment. For today, sunny and hot. Expect a high of 101. Winds will be out of the northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. There is a 20% chance at some showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight, like 3 in the morning, so don't wait up for them. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 65 degrees, northwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 92, northeast winds at around 15 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 97, south winds 5 to 10. Friday, we're looking at a 20% chance at rain for the afternoon, otherwise mostly sunny and 94. 20% chance of rain on Saturday afternoon as well. Otherwise, partly cloudy and 96. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 99 and mostly sunny and 101 Monday. And you head back to work next week. All right. It is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview with Peggy Boland talking Camp Invention. That's up next. Don't go away.
This is State Representative Jim Townsend. Because of the continued efforts of Senator Greg Nybert and others, Republicans have experienced a significant victory. A judge stopped MLG's attack on our local schools' ability to make their decisions on 4-day school weeks. Greg Nybert constantly works behind the scenes to support our communities. I wanted to tell you how much we owe him our thanks. Greg has been a leader protecting local control of our schools. He's one of the best assets conservatives have in New Mexico. Today, he's the only oil and gas expert we have in the state Senate. Greg is the best chance we have in the Senate protecting our jobs from destruction by the progressives and MLG. We must re-elect Greg Nybert because he protects our jobs, our freedoms in southeast New Mexico and New Mexico as a whole. Please join me in supporting Greg Nybert for state Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations, and he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeast New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Candy Spency-Zell, and I've spent my life farming and ranching here in southeastern New Mexico, like generations of my family before me. This is my home. I have a lifetime's worth of experience, especially when it comes to our water rights and our constitutional rights. I will always fight for you. I'm Candy Spency-Zell, and I'm asking for your vote for State Senate District 32 in the upcoming primary election, June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spency-Zell for State Senate District 32.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning to talk some camp invention with us, we have, of course, here Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, Peggy. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Getting ready for camp invention, which it's coming up quick. That thing, it seems like with kids getting out, we're basically today. Today's kind of that last
Today's the last day.
And then, really, we get like a week, and then boom, here's camp.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's kind of, I don't know if it has, but it just feels like it's sneaking up on us this year. So, but it is coming up June 3rd through the 7th. And like years past, it's going to be a week full of fun with 4 different modules that each of the campers will be working on, and they all work on the same modules, whether it's the kindergartners or your 5th graders. Obviously, they teach it at different levels, so the kindergartners are going to get a little less advanced lesson than, say, the 5th graders would be. It's age-appropriate level stuff, but they're all working on the same thing. So if you have multiple kids, like if you've got, say, one of your children is a 2nd grader and one's a 4th grader, they're going to have the same projects, the same experiences, but they'll learn at different levels based on their education level. Here.
Right,
So,
right.
But it is, and we say STEAM. This is a STEAM camp because it's supporting the science, technology, engineering, math thing, but it's more of the STEAM than STEM, where you add the arts into it. Because
there is some art involved.
The 4 modules, yes, it does focus on science and engineering and those things, but there's a lot of social skills that the kids are learning. Adult skills like working with others, event planning, type adult things that that you normally don't do until you get an adult or get put in a position of responsibility. These kids are learning some of the foundational level interactions and experience there on top of the science and math. So it's really a camp of fun, but also making kind of well-rounded, well-adjusted students.
Right.
Kids. That's kind of what it's about. So it's so much bigger than science and math and inventing and what the whole image of it is. It is certainly that, but there's so much more underneath that surface that the kids get to be involved in and learn and get to experience. That to me is what makes camp invention cool. I mean, we'll talk about the cool projects and the kids will have fun and they'll show and tell them and probably break them at some point because that's what kids do. But
no, really?
But the experiences, the interactions, the friends they're going to make, the social skills and the social problem solving and some of those ancillary things that as parents you just really can't teach them till you put them in the room and let them experience it, kind of thing.
That's true.
And so that's what Camp Invention is really all about. So if you're looking for that kind of experience for your children, please sign them up for Camp Invention. They will have a ball all week. I guarantee they're going to come home each day because it's only a day camp. They're not staying overnight.
Correct.
Or nothing. They'll come in the morning and you'll pick them up in the late afternoon here. And they'll be at home at dinner that night, telling you about all the fun things they did and probably good and tuckered out. And so, yeah, it's a good thing, too. Energy,
right.
Get some of that energy out. But trust me, there's a reason why kids that start in, like, kindergarten keep coming back year after year because it's such a great camp. And it's not the parents, oh, you're going to camp this year. It's Mom,
Right.
Dad, when's Camp Invention? I want to sign up. I want to go again,
I've had parents call me and say, my child said they had so much fun last year, they want to go this year.
Yeah.
So can I sign them up? I'm like, yes, you can.
Absolutely. So if you've never been to Camp Invention, or maybe your child has experienced Camp Invention, come back. 2024 is going to be another action-packed, fun year of Camp Invention. New home this year. All Saints Catholic School is going to be the new home for Camp Invention this year. The dates run June 3rd through the 7th.
Camp will run from 9 a.m. to 3:30 each day during that time. There is an extended camp, and there is an additional fee for that. And basically, you can bring your child in as early as 7:30 and then pick them up as late as 5:30 with the extended camp. So if your work schedule doesn't work or jive so much around the 9 to 3:30 schedule here, maybe the extended camp will allow you to accommodation to work there. Again, talk with Peggy, and she'll be happy to explain that to you. But the camp is geared for students entering kindergarten through 6th grade. And like I said earlier, they're based on the level. So they come in as kindergartners, they'll learn at that level. If they're coming in as 4th or 5th graders or 6th graders, it'll be a little bit more advanced on some of that too. Is there also still opportunities for the LITs here, or are those filled up?
Yes. If a parent wants their child, those entering 7th through 9th grade.
Yeah, so middle school age.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Right. So it's $185. It's $100 off the price of the camp. And they just have to call the 800 number because it's so close to the date.
Gotcha.
And that's 800-968-4332.
And we'll give that again before we wrap up. And if you lose it, call here or call Peggy, and we'll be happy to get that information to you. But the students that are that are part of the LITs, they have a foot in both worlds of the camp. They get to participate in the activities and things like the campers do, but they also help the counselors as aides. Help whether it's just passing out materials to kind of helping with logistics on helping kids, or being an eye to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, kind of thing. Just helping the counselors assist them to make the camp run smooth. So if you're a little bit older and you're like, I love doing this, but I'm not quite old enough to be a full-on camp counselor, the LIT Leaders in Training here is a great middle ground there, where they get to still have the fun, take the project, do all the cool stuff, but at the same time, a little sweat equity. They get to help work the camp and be a staff member of the camp as well.
That's right.
So that's the cool part. But anyway, call the 800 number for that. It's 1-800-968-4332.
Correct.
And tell them and then you'll say, hey, I'm interested in the camp convention in Roswell, New Mexico, June 3rd through the 7th as an LIT, and they'll
set you up,
get you all registered and set up through that.
That's true.
Now, if you want to register as a camper, there are a couple different ways you can do that. You can go online to invent.org. And if you go, I think it's invent.org/camp. I think it'll take you
right,
directly.
But you can
invent.org
Google camp invention and you get the same thing.
Google it or whatever. But when you get to that, you're going to see a thing up in the corner. It says find a camp near you. You click that, and then you'll put in Roswell, New Mexico, or 88201 or something identifier to us here. And the first thing will pop up is the camp here, June 3rd through the 7th. You click that. Once you click that, you can watch videos on all the different projects, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And just kind of get a good overview of what the camp looks and feels like. And then, of course, register as well here, too. Now, we do have a couple discount codes if you want to go through that. Now, if you do these, you go through the website, they'll enter the code. But we have a couple if you have if you have more than one kid and you want to be a part of this, if you use code SIBLOVE30 in there, you'll save $30 on their offer code there. For 2 or more siblings.
For just two. Because they say $40 with Sib Love 40 if there's 3 or more.
Gotcha. So the 2 is Sib Love 30. But if you have 3 kids or more, then Sib Love 40, and you'll save
$40 per child. Which is sweet. That's not a bad deal.
Huge savings. Now the cost for the whole camp is $285 there. That's without the discounts or any of that stuff there. Now, if the $30 or $40 per child is still a little, or if you only have one child, but the $285 is a little bit steep, I get you. Everything. It costs $20 to go to get one meal at McDonald's.
I know, really.
I know what you're saying.
Yes.
But contact Peggy Bolin directly. Peggy does, thanks to some generous donators around our community, has a fair amount of money available to offer partial scholarships for families that are in need here. And but don't go through the website. Don't call the 800 number. All the scholarships and stuff are handled at the local level here. The money and everything is actually sitting in the camp invention coffers deal there. But as far as who gets it, how it's distributed, that's done locally here. The people in Camp Invention don't know anything about that, or don't know who's what, where, and when on who gets that money. That's all done locally here.
Correct.
They just hold on to
I
it.
have the power.
Yeah. So call Peggy direct, which will give you her number here in a second. And just to call her and say, hey, I heard about the scholarships. I have a child or 2 children. I need a little bit more help, and she'll just talk to her and she'll work out a deal to help. Now, every person's got to pay some, because we want to make sure, not that we would love to give it to you, but we need to ensure that everyone uses this. If we're going to give this money out and people have spent their time and effort to donate this money, we want to make sure it actually benefits these kids, that they're actually in there participating, learning, and experiencing all the cool things they'll get to experience. So to ensure that, we want a little skin in the game on the family side. So even if it's just a little bit of money, we still want you to pay into that, just so you're invested as well, to make sure that the kids are going to be there and participate fully and gets the maximum experience. It's the most bang for our donated buck here.
Right. And I've been able to give pretty generous scholarships too. I mean, it's not, $20 or $30.
Yeah, you can really help, but you got to
Yes, I can, but you have to call me.
Yeah. And time is running out. Like I said, camp is about 2 weeks away here,
right,
give or take. And we need to get, and logistically, Camp Invention needs these numbers, because, just forget the building itself, to have enough kits, to have enough food, snacks, all the things that, the consumables that are part of the camp. We need to have those numbers, and space is limited. So there is a first come, first serve, and we'd hate to have to turn kids away because folks waited too long to sign up. So get her done here sooner rather than later. That way it'll definitely make it a lot. And especially if you need scholarship help, the sooner you do it, the more Peggy can get involved and can help out there. So get that done here pretty quick.
Right.
So, that being said, let's talk about the different things the kids are going to be doing this week at this year's camp.
So we just received our 34 boxes.
Excellent.
And some were heavy, some were light, but 34 boxes shipped. You know how expensive shipping is now?
I bet
Holy cow.
the FedEx or UPS guy was a little cussing you a little bit.
But we did the inventory yesterday, and there are some really cool things in those boxes.
Oh, cool.
We're excited.
They got every year, and this is the other thing. If you participate in years past, it's 4 different modules every year.
Right.
So if you did it last year or the year before that, you're doing different projects than you did those previous times. They come up with all new programs and projects that these students get to get involved in, and it's all fun. It's really, to be honest, camp, like if you've got kids that you're trying to figure out what they like and don't like in the world, and because especially when they're younger, and you're just trying to expose them to as much stuff to see what they're gravitating towards and Camp Invention has a lot of that. There's a lot of different variety to the projects and things. So if there's one project maybe the kid's not as excited into, odds are the next one they're gonna, is okay. Maybe they're not into event planning, but they sure love the water stuff,
Right, exactly.
That's kind of it's a variety of things. So odds are at least one of these modules, one of your kids is really going to gravitate towards and kind of just become their favorite kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So. Sorry. That being said.
So the name of the camp is Illuminate.
Okay.
And there's a lot of
illuminating themes to this one.
Yes. Well, like I said, when we emptied the boxes, it was like, wow, cool.
Too bad we can't come up with hats with a light bulb on it. And then, you
could
have like an idea to, we need to invent a light bulb hat.
There you go. All right. So the 4 modules, one is called In the Game.
Okay.
Campers team up as they investigate the science of sports ball design and personalize the light-up board game, then add a unique logo and name.
Cool. So they get to invent a game. So there's a creative side there. And then obviously they learn a little logistics on how to make that from a dream to fruition there.
A little physics in there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love it. So it's even a little entrepreneurship in there a little bit.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Exactly. The next one is called Let's Glow. This one seems really cool too. When they build a customized glow box, campers discover different forms of light, finding inspiration in illuminating inventions and animals that glow. Yeah, that one.
And so when your kids bring that home, then you can tell them stories about your light bright as a kid.
There you go. There you go. Because this one, there's different panels that they can
So it's
change
kind of
out.
like an evolved version of Light Bright a little bit, and kind of
sort of.
kind of like what they taught us or what they were showing. This is taking it to that next level.
Right.
It's cool.
It's really neat.
That is cool.
Operation Hydro Drop to cultivate awareness of real-world water challenges. Campers engineer a tiny house with crops to explore water-based technology and sustainable design thinking.
All those kids that live on the farm and ranch that hope to run the farm someday, that module might fit close to home for some of
Well,
those.
actually, in New Mexico, everything needs to be irrigated.
Exactly. Yeah, water is. You're absolutely right. So that one, you might want to make sure you're there that day for that one.
Yeah.
Pay attention to this one, kids.
Exactly. Okay, and the last one's called Prototyping Studio. This is so invention heavy.
Okay,
Because if you think about it, when you invent, you have to make a prototype.
Absolutely.
So campers get creative as they transform their ideas from initial sketches to working prototypes using everyday items.
Love that. And,
Yeah,
and this is
that's-
the part, because listen, everything you do, you use in your life, from this pen to this microphone to the smartphone in your hand, there were prototypes and tests and done and versions of it that didn't work nearly as well as the one you're holding in your hand today. And that's how everything that we have in life, everything that we need, and this is what's part of the inventors, what I love about the Inventors Hall, because think about it. Everything that we have here today, that was someone's
idea.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like if y'all get a chance or have Hulu or History Channel, they do a lot of shows like Men Who Built America, The Food Who Built America, The Products That Built. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Pick up for you sports fans. There's one that they're talking about Spalding and how baseballs and basketballs and footballs, Wilson Hall, it all started. This prototype is very much in that same vein, where you get to see the evolution of how the baseball that the kids and adults play with on the field every day, how it came to be like that, and that's what this really kind of teaches you, how those things happen. And so, but if you want a little precursor, I highly recommend you watch those series and check them out. The one I really like, the one on baseball, and that one was because Spalding, he was a baseball player in the 1800s, and he was a pitcher. And back then, pitchers brought their own balls and they made them from home, and there was no consistency, and he's pretty much the modern baseball because of his testing and everything. That's the reason it is that way, because of Spalding. But anyway,
It makes sense. His last name is printed on the ball.
Yeah, but that's exactly what this prototyping studio is going to get to expose the kids to that kind of stuff. To really, it's like, you see this, you love this thing. Well, it used to look like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think kids will really gravitate towards that one. I think, too. Once they realize what they're doing, So.
Yeah, we also have games, the recess, but it's an organized games.
Gotcha.
And that's, after or before they eat lunch, depending on their age, they're doing organized games.
Excellent.
So they're running around and having.
Got an outlet to let off the energy too. So,
and that's so important.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, because the kids are fun in these projects and things, but they're kids. They need to run around. They need to play. They need exercise. They need to, it's all good for their health and for both the mental and for the
exactly.
Physical. And
exactly.
so, yes, please sign your kids up. They're going to have so much fun. I guarantee.
They are, and they're going to be so tired at the end of the day. It's great. They go home. I've had multiple parents tell me, yeah, I pick up my kid and he blah, 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 blah. All he does is blah, 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 and talk until dinner. And then after dinner, he's...
and the battery dies, yes. And that's all she wrote for the night. Yeah. But exactly, that's the cool thing about it. So please, again, it's going to be June 3rd through the June 7th. The traditional camp time is from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. During that week. The camp will be at All Saints Catholic School this year, which is on North Kentucky, 2700 North Kentucky, kind of behind the hospital, and you just Kentucky there, you can't miss it.
Right.
As you turn next to Eastern New Mexico Medical Center, it's right there. And then, of course, if you do want to sign your child up for the extended camp, now cost for the camp, the 9 to 3 before any or multi-discounts or scholarships is $285. Now, there is an extended camp, like we had mentioned earlier, extended hours. That means you can bring your child in as early as 7:30 and pick up your child as late as 5:30 p.m. that's an additional $100 per camper for that extended camp. So if you'd like to do that, you can. It is,
or if you
need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's extended. Again, if you need scholarship help with this, partial discounts type thing, call Peggy Boland direct. Do not go to invent.org. Do not call the 800 number. Call Peggy direct at this number, 575-420-9955. 575-420-9955. That's Peggy's cell number. If you don't get live Peggy, leave a voicemail. She will call back as soon as, like, call her right now. She's a little busy. So.
Yeah.
But call her, leave a voicemail if you don't get her direct, and just explain, that you'd like a scholarship. Or if you have any questions about the camp in general, and just, hey, my kid's here, I need this, call her. She'll be happy to answer and get you that information you need there. But if you'd like to sign up here and need a scholarship help, call Peggy. Do not go through the invent.org. Do not go through the 1-800 number.
I can definitely help.
Call her direct and let her sit down and talk with you about what you need, and we'll get that taken care of.
And they can also email me. I've had people email me, and my email is pbohlin2016@gmail.com.
Yep.
Again, my phone number is 575-420-9955. I'm really, I really work with parents. I mean, because I had 2 kids.
You're a parent. You're a mom. You've done it all.
Yes.
You've been there, got that T-shirt, and you understand what families go through, and you get it. There are times.
I understand. You can do it. Other times you can't.
And sure, and I get it. Growing up as kids too, you get it. You can tell mom, spaghetti was for dinner tonight.
Right,
times
exactly.
are tough right now. You know what I mean? And as kids, you as moms and dads, you do everything to hide that stuff, but you get it.
Right.
It's time to start, and especially in the world we live in now, where everything is so much more expensive and everything else. And to be honest, I'm glad the camp has stayed relatively in that $285, and because I imagine it's cost them a lot to put this camp on too. So
just shipping the boxes, there's probably 10 campers right there.
It looks like they're working hard to keep costs down on that side too, so we don't have to jack up the camp to $400 for kids and stuff like that here too. So, but if you do need help, please do not hesitate to call Peggy. We had some people that are, and by the way, we're always taking more donations, because whatever doesn't get used as a scholarship this year will roll over to next year's camp invention. So
exactly.
So please, if we're still looking and seeking donations. So we don't have enough. We're gonna always use more. So if there's people that are listening and say, you know what, I don't have a kid, or my kid's outgrown this, I'd love to help another kid go to camp. Here's a couple $100 to do that. That would be great. Call Peggy direct, same number, and she'll be happy to take your money. But
well, I've had great grandparents reach out to me and say, I really want my grandchild to go, but I'm the one who's paying. Yeah. And I'm like, then I help everybody. I try to help everybody.
Yeah. Put it this way. We do not want dollars to be the reason your child
because that's so important. This camp is so important.
Yeah, we'll figure out the money. If the desire and the will to have this child, and the child wanting to do this, we will figure the rest out. That's not going to be a hurdle. We're not going to deny a kid a chance to do this over $20 or $50 or $100. We're just not going to do that. You know what I mean? So please call Peggy. Please reach out. Let's get your kids. Let them experience this week. That trust me, I think, especially if you're trying to get your kid more socially, more friends, more the social side, getting your kid more used to working in group settings, working in things that aren't involving a computer screen or a phone in front of them. Something where they actually have a group of actual human breathing people in the room with them that they're talking and interacting. And
it's not a classroom.
Yes.
It might be at a school.
Right.
But it's not a classroom.
No, it's groups of kids trying to solve problems and figure things out.
It's not the same as school.
Yeah, this isn't class. It's
hands-on. Inventing, innovation, creativity, problem solving. I could go on and on.
It's exposing kids to things that some of them have never seen, hear, or done, or experienced before. And as a person that obviously who's been a kid myself, has worked in scouting and done a lot of different activities like that, there's no cooler feeling than when you expose these kids to something that you like or are passionate about that they've never seen or done before, and then they gravitate towards it. Like you show them this cool thing. It's like, hey, like I do radio, and like, hey, I talk radio, and these kids are, whoa, and I'm telling you, it's a cool feeling when you connect with those kids like that, and your kids will get that opportunity every day during Camp Invention, and that's the cool part about that.
Right.
So please sign up, please come, and of course, parents, come if you volunteer if you want to see, and with please, but parents are more than welcome to hang out and see what's going
volunteers.
on. Yeah, come as a volunteer and see and be a part. They could always use more hands on deck for when you've got a bunch of kids to be wrangled. There's never enough adults to wrangle them, so sure.
Right.
And especially since we do have a broad age, because some of these kids will be going into kindergarten. Some of them, it's really their first social setting in something like
right,
this.
If they're homeschooled or something. Exactly.
To your kids that are just about ready to transition to middle school and things like that.
Right,
So you kind of have the gamut of maturity levels here.
Right, and we have all. We've got kindergarten now through entering 6th grade, and the camp signed up already. So.
And of course, if you have younger brothers and sisters and stuff, they're going to be there too. If you know, and so there is that familiarity there too.
And if friends want to go, I mean, if somebody's listening and they had, my daughter's kind of shy. Well, what about her friend?
Yeah.
I can put the two kids together if they're, but if one's a kinder and one's a 6th grader,
obviously
then
they got to be the same age or right around the same age. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like if they need some familiarity because they're a little out of their comfort zone.
Or something.
All right, let's get family or friends in there, or classmates that were in class together and our friends. All right, great. Let's let them be in the same group together for Camp Invention.
Exactly.
So, but again, now if you want to sign up, you don't need discounts and just want to sign up, or if you want to just use the multiple sibling, the SibLove 30 or SibLove 40 discounts, you can go to invent.org/camp, as we said earlier. Ooh, we just saw the time. And click on or type in Roswell on Find a Camp Near Me. Yeah, if you want to watch the videos, telling you a little bit more about each of these different modules that we talked about, you'll find that there. And then you can kind of, if you want to learn more about the Inventors Hall of Fame and about what their organization's all about, all that information is there too. So,
exactly.
So if you want to do some reading and some research and background check, on this stuff, before you send your kids, I understand that. It's all right there for you to do. And if you have any questions or need the partial scholarship or anything like that, call Peggy direct, 575-420-9955, 575-420-9955, or email her, pbolin, Bolin, like the old Bolin's, if you've seen the stores when you travel, come see Bigfoot, Bolin's.
Yeah, that has a W, though.
Oh,
we have an H.
That one have a Bolin?
We have an
I
H.
thought it has an H. I'm sorry, I thought that one had an H. Forget that. POHLIN 2016 at gmail.com.
Correct.
pbolin 2016 at gmail.com. And invent.org for be an LI or want to register because you don't like computers, do it with online or do it on the phone. 800-968-4332. 800-968-4332. Hurry. Deadlines are coming fast. Camp will be underway June 3rd. Here in about 2 weeks.
A week and a half.
Yeah, week and a half.
Crazy.
I know. Did we get it all?
I think so.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, as always.
Thank you.
We will see you here next time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, 7:55, quick break before news. Well, it's not that quick, about a 4-minute. We'll be back.
Emergency crews began CPR on 18-year-old James Lara Salazar, who was found with multiple gunshot wounds in the 2000 block of North Kingsley Street in Hobbs just after midnight on Saturday. Police are asking anyone with information to please call them. They have not said if there has been any arrest in the case or even what the dispute was about. The BLM has published its latest finding and rulings regarding oil and gas drilling and other mineral extraction from a complex cave system in southeast New Mexico. The BLM deciding to withdraw the Guadalupe Cave Resource Protection Area from consideration for mineral development for the next 20 years. The move being made, according to the BLM, to protect the area for recreation and its sensitive cave ecosystem. The Guadalupe Cave Resource Protection Area is about 28,500 acres in the southern portion of Lincoln National Forest in Eddy County and amid the Permian Basin region of southeast New Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I mean, it's really just unbelievable how corrupt. And the judge, we have two experts they wanted to bring on. One is about the law in a court of law, about the very specific law and the novel legal theory that the prosecution is bringing in this case. And they don't even want to hear from the expert. Why is that? Because the judge now understands that this has been an unmitigated disaster for Alvin Bragg and the prosecution, and they're likely to lose. So the only chance they have is to get an assist from the judge, the Biden donor, conflicted judge that should have recused himself. So that's where we now find ourselves.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey guys, breaking news. Did you hear that gold hit an all-time high? And based on market analysis, it could soar even higher. With inflation increasing, global tensions escalating, and central banks buying gold at record levels, the gold boom could skyrocket to over $7,000 an ounce. In fact, experts claim that the gold investing madness is just getting started. And that's why we partnered with the highest-rated gold company, Goldco. They have earned over 5,000 five-star reviews from tens of thousands of happy customers who have diversified their savings with gold and silver. Today, Goldco is offering you up to 8 years in free IRA fees plus 8% instant match in bonus silver with a qualified account. Call 855-815-GOLD for free IRA fees, bonus silver, and a free gold and silver info kit. What are you waiting for? Join the tens of thousands of people who have already joined the gold rush and diversified their savings with gold and silver. Call 855-815-GOLD now. That's 855-815-GOLD now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty hot again today. Our afternoon high will be in the low 100s, and we should have sunshine with high pressure overhead for now, maybe a little bit breezy. Overnight, we have a low developing over the area. Might bring us a shower or thunderstorm, a few clouds, and we're in the mid-60s. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday, and we'll stay in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. This is staff meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened mixed this morning coming off the long holiday weekend. Shares of U.S. Cellular jumped 5.6% after it was announced that T-Mobile is buying the company's wireless operations and certain assets in a deal valued at $4.4 billion. It advances the consolidation trend in the telecom industry. GameStop is off and running again, jumping more than 25% pre-market. Now that earnings season is largely wrapped up, investors will be turning their focus to the economy, inflation, and interest rates. Coming later in the week is the government's consumer spending report, which will shed light on American spending habits last month. The report contains a calculation of inflation that is of particular concern to the Federal Reserve, which has raised its benchmark rate to its highest level in more than 2 decades in a bid to control inflation. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Every person listening to this ad right now will agree we as a nation are facing an uncertain future. We're at a crossroads. The status quo has failed us. We've got to fight. We've got to take back what we have lost. With your vote, you can join this fight. We can no longer squander our vote and our voice as if we're voting in a high school popularity contest. Nor can we continue electing self-serving politicians that claim to fight for you while making backroom deals that have facilitated the erosion of your liberties while destroying our livelihoods. My association with various different grassroots organizations, patriot groups, and activists has led to statewide citizen participation efforts to initiate grand jury investigations and the referendum of historically egregious laws. Similar efforts are being planned. These efforts will continue far into the future. We have within our reach the tools and weapons we need to end this tyranny and stop the assault on our faith, our liberties, and our way of life. We have the God-given authority to take back what we have lost. When you vote for Larry Marker, you're not voting for me, you're voting for we.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Larry Marker.
Artesia General Hospital recently welcomed urogynecologist Scott Beard to the team. Dr. Beard is board certified in obstetrics and gynecology, as well as female pelvic medicine and reconstructive surgery. With nearly 25 years of experience in women's health, he treats conditions such as incontinence, chronic pelvic pain, prolapse, endometriosis, and others, offering surgical and non-surgical care options. Dr. Beard joins our women's services team currently working out of Memorial Family Practice in Artesia and is accepting new patients. Learn more and schedule your visit at artesiageneral.com/UROGYN or call 575-736-8394.
Have you been following the campaign for Senate District 32? I'm still undecided.
I voted for Candy Azell before, but after 20 years, she's been in office too long. She claims she's tough on the border, but voted to give free health care to illegals, and Azell even voted to raise her own taxpayer-funded pension 3 times.
Candy Azell?
That's right, Candy Azell. She also voted to implement critical race theory in New Mexico.
Critical race theory?
The bill forces school personnel to take annual anti-racism training and rips away local control of schools and hands it to bureaucrats in Santa Fe. Worse, Azell voted to raise taxes by millions on health care for seniors.
Ouch. Who's Candy's opponent?
Chad Hamill. He's a local business owner and former fire chief in Roswell who is running to secure our border, fix our schools, and keep taxes low.
Chad Hamill. He's got my vote.
Paid for by friends of Chad Hamill.
You received a social media message or text from an unknown number. They started a conversation with you, and over time, they earn your trust. Then, they encourage you to invest online or buy cryptocurrency. And when you do, they disappear, along with your money. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
Roswell City Councilman Will Cavan. My son, Sergeant Chance Cavan with the Roswell Police Department, was shot on May 15th in the line of duty in Roswell. I know the effect of crime in our state personally. My friend Greg Nibert does too. You see, Greg Nibert has fought tirelessly to reverse the liberal policies that have created the crime wave across our state and made New Mexico #1 in violent crime in the U.S. The one that has finally made its way eastern New Mexico, thanks to our open border and the flood of drugs and human trafficking. Greg even secured funding to purchase new vehicles this year for not only the Roswell Police Department, but also Portales, Clovis, and the Chavez and Roosevelt County Sheriff's Departments. I'm asking you to vote for Greg Nibert because Greg is the man I trust to fight to protect my son's life in the line of duty. You can trust him too to protect your family. Please vote for Greg Nibert for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Senate.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And we're closing in on 10 o'clock. If you missed any part of the show, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our interviews there. All right, that's going to do it for us. Have a great day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Take care, everybody.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Testimony is over at Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York, and closing arguments now underway.
Prosecutors and defense lawyers will be recapping their key points as they address the jury one last time. Before jury deliberations begin, the judge will instruct jurors on the law governing the case. To prevent a conviction, the defense simply needs to convince at least one juror that prosecutors have not proved Trump's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton. The Trump defense lawyers now making their closing arguments. Also at townhall.com, powerful storms swept over much of the U.S. over the Memorial Day holiday weekend, causing at least 23 deaths. The destructive storms caused deaths in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky, and were just north of a heat wave that was setting records from South Texas to Florida. Following 3 straight monthly declines, consumer confidence pulled a U-turn this month.
The Conference Board's closely watched Consumer Confidence Index rose from a reading of 97.5 to 102. It took experts by surprise. They had been expecting another decline. A measure of Americans' short-term expectations for income, business, and the job market climbed to 74.6 from a dismal 68.8 in April. Any reading under 80 can portend a potential recession in the near future. Rich Thomason reporting.
T-Mobile buying U.S. Cellular's wireless operations in a deal valued at $4.4 billion. Further consolidating the industry, T-Mobile will get U.S. Cellular's wireless operations at about 30% of Spectrum assets across several Spectrum bands. On Wall Street, stocks are mixed. The Dow losing 149 points, but the NASDAQ ahead 95. More at townhall.com.
Government debt